What is going on, everyone? My fellow Nails, welcome into another Forward Progress live watch along right here on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, powered by Pinnacle Sportsbook. Tonight, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. Could have been a great game, but Joe Burrow had to go out there and fracture his wrist or whatever, tear a ligament. And now we get Jake Browning. And the Jags, a pretty heavy favorite tonight. But regardless, it's a game. We can bet on it. We can watch it. Don't take these for granted, people. Because it could be June, weeknight. You got nothing to do. Wife wants to take you out. Do something stupid. These are the nights we live for as bettors, as sports fans. Jags, Bengals, Monday Night Football with a double-digit favorite. Tonight's show is going to be a banger. Like always, they're all bangers. Let's be honest. But extra special guest tonight in the third quarter, Steve Fezzik, joining us here on Forward Progress. If the Jaguars win and cover tonight, they cover tonight. Steve Fezzik will move into first place in the Circa Millions. We'll talk about that with him. Also want to find out why he threw Hitman under the bus on VSiN today. Maybe we'll keep them around together as Hitman joins us in the fourth quarter. Eric Eager, second quarter. My producer tonight is Zack Phillips. He'll be joining me over the course of the program. Before we get into props, little story. About an hour before kickoff here, I go to fire off a prop bet. I got the old, you can't fire this amount of money. You got $5.20 on this bet, which I bet. But I was a little bit disappointed. Wouldn't it be great to live in a world where you can bet at a sports book that's not going to limit you because you place some sharp bets every now and then, and they're going to offer you fair limits? Well, in Canada, we're lucky enough to have Pinnacle Sportsbook, and we're lucky enough to have them as a presenting sponsor here of this live watch along. If you don't bet at Pinnacle, I don't know what to tell you. The odds are great. The product is great. Customer service is great. They don't ban you. They don't limit you. Every single pick that you bet, even if it gets closing line value, it's not going to restrict you from betting there in the future. So bet smart, bet Pinnacle, your trusted sportsbook for the past 25 years. I highly recommend them in Canada. If you're going to sign up, use code HAMMER to do so. Goes a long way in helping us here at Forward Progress. You must be 19 plus, and please play responsibly. Seriously, bet there. Before I get into bets for tonight as well, over the course of the first half tonight, producer Zack Phillips is doing the locker game with everyone in the chat tonight as well. If you're not signed up already, locker.bet, check it out. Zack is participating in that in the background over the course of the first half, try to make the game a little bit more interesting. But let's make it more interesting with some bets right now. As always, I value the opinions of everyone else in this stream, of all the fellow Nails. Drop your favorite bets into the chat right now. I don't got much going on tonight. I might add a little bit here and there before we start. But drop your bets in the chat, and we'll go from there. I do have some anytime touchdown scores. I do have a last touchdown score. I have a couple other props that I like, but nothing crazy over here for the most part. First and foremost, side and total of the game. Don't think there's anything worth betting at this time. I'm not immune to betting late if I like something, but I think 10 is a very fair price on the game. Total's been bet up now to 41 at Pinnacle and across the board, so some over money today. I kind of get it. I do think the Jags offense is going to have a lot of success. I'm interested to see what the Bengals offense looks like with T. Higgins back in the mix now. They were horrendous against Pittsburgh last week, even in garbage time or like when trailing. So I don't hold out a lot of hope for them, but I'm very interested in how they look. In terms of the props, going to target 2 players here tonight and do what we haven't done in a while, but a combo of the under on receiving yards and the under on receptions. And we're going to start it off with Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, under receptions at plus money, 2.5, and under receiving yards as well. Joe Mixon didn't get a lot of targets last week, but it's not just that he didn't get a lot of targets with Browning last week. It's that I don't think his workload is going to be that of a typical Joe Mixon workload. I'll get to that in 1 second. But $50 here, Zach, on under 2.5 plus 130 for the receptions, and $50 on the receiving yards. Pinnacle best in market under 18.5 plus 114 as well. So we're getting plus money on both of those on the unders. But I just don't hold up that high hopes for the Bengals offense. They didn't have a lot of plays last week. Price is too high. Second person I'm going to attack here in market on unders is Evan Ingram. I'm going head to head with my fellow Forward Progress member, Cleve TA, who likes the over here. I like the under on Evan Ingram, both in receptions and receiving yards. Part of it is game state. When you start to get to a reception total of 5.5, when one team is expected to blow out the other, lots of scenarios where he's not used late in the game for one. So $50 base unit again, Zach, on the under receptions, $50 base unit on under 52.5 receiving yards, which is pretty widely available as well. But if we're just, I know the Bengals stink against tight ends. I mean, it's factored into the equation altogether. But this is the type of defense, especially with Cam Taylor-Britt out on IR for the Bengals, where the Jags can really move it, in my opinion, in any way. And I don't see a ton of the game plan going to one specific player. Evan Ingram gets a lot of targets. He will continue to get a lot of targets. But if we strictly look at his game logs on a week-to-week basis, they're not crazy. 5 for 49, 4 for 29, 4 for 12, 5 for 45. He had that big game against Pittsburgh, 10 for 88. We need to dodge one of those, essentially. Those are the 2 players that I like on unders. Now, anytime touchdowns. Jake Browning, quarterback of the Bengals, has a little bit of mobility to him. This is Monday Night Football, pull out all the stops type of game. But you're getting Jake Browning priced in the double digits. It's ugly. I don't want to root for Bengals touchdowns, but I think that this is mispriced relative to where we see other quarterbacks usually priced in these types of spots. So Jake Browning, anytime TD, we're going to go ahead and we're going to play it for $10 at 10-1. I would go down to plus 850 on this bet. But I think the 10-1 for $10 has value. Second, anytime touchdown. Chase Brown. People might not have any idea who Chase Brown is, and that's fine. Doesn't get much workload. He's a third-string running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. There's more and more talk this week about how Chase Brown is going to get some usage. 32-1, anytime touchdown. We're going to play that for $5. We're going to look for a score at $5. You can go down to 25-1 here, but again, price shop. It's a very important thing to do regularly. Chase Brown. Lots of talk about him getting some workload. We'll see if it comes to fruition. How many times have coaches lied before? How many times have beat writers been wrong before? 1,000,000 times. It can happen, but this is a good dart. I'm going to fire a dart. Last TD of the game. A lot of people are looking towards Ernest Johnson. I'm very tempted there too. I just don't love the price. I do like the price on Tank Bigsby. Now, this would have to be a big-time blowout, which is within the range of possibilities. But Tank Bigsby as the last touchdown scorer of the game, 33-1. We'll throw $5 on it. I think that holds some value. everyone who played the Dearness Johnson stuff in terms of the overs, I actually like those. Those are fine. Let's go through these quickly. Klay Thompson, T. Higgins over 3.5 receptions, plus 114. I would lean that way. Yes. Sorry, Emmanuel Ocho, you could be right. I could be wrong. But for tonight, you know what? How about we just get like 49 yards? How about that? We both end up being winners in that case. Jags team total over 24.5. Is that what it is right now? 24.5? I mean, it is a primetime game. We do know how these tend to turn out. Team total Jacksonville. Yeah, 24.5 minus 121. Honestly, yes, I like it. I like it. Drew Sample, first TD 90-1. I mean, there's a shot there. Don't hate that. We got some Boyd first TD. Dearness Johnson first TD. I see a lot of that. I don't know about first TD there. I mean, you're hoping that ETN kind of just doesn't have the full workload tonight, which I think is very possible with the injury that he's dealing with. But I don't know about first TD. I'd be more likely to play him anytime, like Kevin Phillip over here. Dave McClukey, Browning over 12.5 rushing. I like that. Same thing, Jeremy, here with the TD. I mean, I'll root for you. Hopefully it's only TD of the game if that happens, so we can cash first and last. But I prefer those as last TD of the game. Cheers, Drew, for the donation. As always, we appreciate it. Anything counts here. We do have to pay producer Zach's salary. Comes at a very high rate. And we can no longer get away with paying him in baseball cards anymore. Those days are done. Actually, hard-earned cash needs to go that way. Needs to go that way. Looks like the chat is mostly in sync tonight on a lot of these bets, which is great. I love when that happens. That's huge. Before we get into the game, before we start here, do me one favor. Smash that like button down below. Sends a message to YouTube, to the algorithm. Says, hey, people are enjoying this stream. Maybe we should feed it to other people. So do me a favor, just smash that really quickly. If you're new here, you've never seen Forward Progress before, stick around. I promise you, it's a great community of people that watches these games together. It's really fun. We have a blast. Make sure you sub to the Forward Progress channel. Zach, you all ready to go for your game tonight? Yeah, all ready to go on the mute.
I'm all good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
You intentionally copy the t-shirt I'm wearing?
Yes, I did. I just washed it today. That was why. I just took it out, and then I saw you wearing it and remembered that it's now freshly washed, so wanted to throw it on.
Yeah. Yours looks darker, but it might just be the lighting.
Yeah, it could be the lighting.
It's probably the lighting.
It's probably pops, though.
Yours pops. It's got to be the lighting. It's got to be the lighting.
Thank you, Free88. Thank you.
You did misspell your name, though. Zach with an H is disgraceful.
Yeah, you got it back after that.
Oh, he got it back. He did get it back. Yeah. And when Zach said he washed it, his mother washed it.
I live on my own, guys.
Explicitly clear.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's make it explicitly clear. A lot of people on that Jags team total over. I hope it happens. I hope it happens. When my captain said I need the Jags to win as much as Hitman needs a dub. It's true. I played a lot of. I'm not a teaser player. It's not only teasers that I have. I actually have like a lot of money line parlays that are finalized with. A lot of money line parlays that are finalized here with the Jags tonight. But Jags winning and doing it comfortably, while wouldn't make for the most entertaining stream, would certainly be something that I would welcome. He's got to be the same shirt. I don't know what he's talking about. It's got to be the same shirt. We got the same swag bags.
Yeah.
Zach's been hitting the gym for 2 weeks. He thinks he's Hulk Hogan over here. 24-inch pythons. Yeah. All right. Made a nice double espresso before we start here. I'm tired, man. I didn't know that I was going to have the energy to do this tonight until I saw Moretto actually did his job. and booked someone other than these losers, these forward progress losers that we can consecutively have on here. Doing okay there, Zach? Looks like you got some indigestion or something.
I'm just trying to map out in my head whether Jamar Chase or Joe Mixon would probably have the most offensive yards in the Bengals next drive.
Well, we'll see about that. You guys can join in with Zach tonight. All right, let's get it started. Bengals are getting the ball first here. Bengals are getting the ball first in this game. Trenton Irwin last TD plus 10,000. People are really going to town. Really going to town on this one. All right. Do you have any rooting interest in this? Did you tail the BetStamp account pick? Dearness Johnson?
Yeah, I did. It helps to have the guy running it be 5 feet away from me
as your roommate.
While I'm eating
that
dinner.
Works.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
All right. We're underway with a run here on first down. Joe Mixon. I will not be rooting for Joe Mixon injury, but, if it's one of those where he's dealing with something, cramp here and there, that would work. Oh, baby, is this Chase? This is Brown in the game right now. Oh, my goodness. On the second play of the game, our 25-1, 30-1, anytime long shot is in the game. That's all you want to see, people. That's all you want to see. A nice Joe cramp would be nice. Yeah, we don't want Mixon to get hurt. Just needs to get some fluids in the locker room, something along those lines. This is an ideal start for us here. Ideal start for us. Fez will be on in the third quarter today, Everett. Hopefully he will be joining us here. Big third down to start the game. Oh,
do you like these?
The whiteout uniforms?
I kind of like this. Yeah, this jersey matchup. I kind of like it.
Okay. I have to do a play clock rundown, which I'll do right here, right now.
Yeah.
This was not a first down, but they're going to hurry and go to it anyways. Play clock is 26, 25, 24, plays off. That was most definitely not a first down on that play. These Bengals uniforms. So when I went to the Bengals Thursday night football game in Cincy last year, when they were hosting Miami, the game where Tua got concussed.
Yeah.
I was crossing the border, and the border agent, as I was driving into the U.S., is like, where are you going or whatever? Like, I'm going to see the Bengals in Cincinnati for Thursday night football. He's like, fucking right you are. I'm like, oh. I'm like, wow, what's that all about? He's like, oh, man, I've been a Bengals fan my whole life. He's like, you've seen these white jerseys they're going to be wearing? It's going to be sick. Bengals going to win by 2 touchdowns, whatever. He's going on and on. But, yeah, there we go. I like the Bengals white jerseys.
Yeah.
Brinks is not a fan. I'm a fan of the white ones. I'm a fan of the white ones. All right. So this is like the very safe game plan that they're going with tonight. The Bengals, nothing downfield so far, a couple runs, everything underneath. I don't think there's been a target more than 3 yards downfield yet in this game. I don't know. Like these uniforms are like I could see not liking these uniforms, like being they're fine, they're whatever, but terrible. How can you think the white ones are terrible? They could be like plain and nothing going on. Terrible?
Yeah.
No. The Lions have worn some terrible ones this year.
Oh.
Like really bad ones. Oh, Brown has got the second handoff of the game too. Well, I mean, like instead of being such an idiot like I am and playing anytime touchdown, I mean, what was Chase Brown's? Oh, I don't even think he was lined on rushing yards. I don't think there were lines on him, honestly.
No, not.
Yeah, I don't think we got any Chase Brown actual rushing yards lines, or else that would have been it. 3rd and 7, big 3rd and 7 coming up. Play clock is at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That should help with syncing.
Yeah. It's always funny seeing how much further ahead you are than where I am.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough break. 4th and 3. 4th and 4. Jags 44. Like, you're a 10-point underdog. you're a 10-point dog. Go for it. Jake Browning on that play just stared Jamar Chase directly down the entire time. Okay, they're lining up to go for it. I mean, regardless of what happens here, you got to go. I'd send pressure. They're not. They're rushing 4. He's got nothing. He's going to take a sack. Oh, yeah, he's taking a sack. And he did. All right, Jags starting at midfield. That's great for whoever bet the team totals over on Jacksonville. Great starting field position. Does anyone in the chat know the last time the Jags had a home? I don't want to say primetime game because I feel like they had some Thursday night football, like bullshit games, but Monday night football? Have the Jags had a Monday night football game in the last decade? I don't know. I highly doubt it. Because the regime before this, 2011, says John Hudson. Yeah. I mean, this is the most raucous I've seen Jacksonville fans in a long time. It's been since 2011, Monday Night Football. Wow. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. What are we going to do in this game, Zach, if the Jags just go up like 28-0?
Oh, well, it'll be good because we'll have Fez on. So
Fez. Yeah, he can price all these derivatives for us in real time.
We'll get to hear from Fez about what he's going to do with his Circa Millions winnings.
I'm going to try to buy a piece of it. Actually, you know what, though? See, like,
you've been saying that for a couple weeks now. It feels like it's going.
Well, the problem is, here's the thing. Here. If I was going to buy a piece of Fezzik's Circa Millions, I'd have to send them Bitcoin to do so. And I might as well rather just hold the Bitcoin right now because we're going to the moon real soon here. At least it seems that way.
See, you don't even actually, this is what people may or may not realize here, is that Rob doesn't even actually care that much about the money that's being won. Like, obviously that's nice. It's literally taking the photo with Fezzik. That's what you care about.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't care about the money. I mean, yeah, obviously, like, listen, I don't want this to be conceited or whatever. I'll obviously take money wherever I can get it, but like, I don't need the money right now. So yeah, it is getting more expensive. Each passing, I'm kind of waiting for him to have a shit week, like a 1-4. Then I have to go in at that point, right?
Right.
Brinks says straight to the moon. Paul, 100K moon. I'll tell you why I know Bitcoin is going to fly. It already is, but I'll tell you why I know it's going to fly. And it's because I currently own the least amount of Bitcoin that I probably have in about 5 years. And that's usually the time where it flies. This is my life, people. Factor. Yes. If I published my Bitcoin transactions publicly, you guys would be able to spot perfect buy times, sell times. You know, it would just be too good. Too good. Oh my God, this is already moving downfield. Man, the Bengals defense. Oh, Christian Kirk's hurt. What was that? Did he like pull his groin? I don't even know what he's what.
He's holding.
He's just groin. Like, yeah. Eric, if I was to get Barry Horse on emergency call, you know what he would say? Just, you should be holding Bitcoin for life. Put all of your assets into Bitcoin. It looks like he grabbed his nuts, so I think it's a pulled groin. I think he tripped, and as soon as he got to the ground, he went immediate nut grab. Nut grab is never good. Oh, yeah. That's groin.
Those are the... I don't even know how to describe them. You feel like it feels like a pop when it happens. You know what I mean?
I've luckily never pulled a groin before.
Oh, okay.
I've had like knee injuries, strained calf, but luckily no groin injury. Quad, yes. Groin seems really bad. Spasm of the groin, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle beat you, Raymond, by approximately 3 seconds there. Yep. So I mean, so much for the Kirkovers. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, this is the thing, people, about betting overs. We can bet unders. I just don't. I mean, like what are the live betting markets looking like for receivers? Because who's the third? Tim Jones is there, right? Do we live bet some Tim Jones overs? I'm not huge on like the in-play live betting props market.
I've done actually decently well with it with some of them.
Yeah.
Touchdowns, identifying secondary and third backs in games.
Well, like if you didn't play Chase Brown pregame, you should you see he gets 2 of the first 3 carries for the Bengals.
That's what I would have been doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to find myself some Tim Jones props. It does hurt the Ingram position. That's the only issue. You know what it's also going to bring into play? Is like Luke Farrell. Yeah. Yeah. But whatever. I'm not betting enough of these that this isn't like the fourth quarter Hitman sweats, you know? Where he's like living and dying by every single yard. I've never seen anything like that in my life, honestly. It's hilarious to watch. It is hilarious to watch.
The reactions from Hitman are all time. Like the fact that he's standing up to makes it that much better. Because there's so much movement.
Right. Tim Jones isn't lined, unfortunately. Zay Jones market is frozen. All the Jags markets are frozen.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, we're back in play here. Or at least we're going to be back in play here in a second. Oh, trick play. All right. Scripted plays looking good so far. 18 yards per play for the Jags. 2 so far. Pretty solid. We got a pretty damn good ratio of viewers to likes so far tonight. Appreciate that, people. However, there's still like 70 of you that haven't smashed that like button down below. Just do that really quickly.
What's something we can put on the line here, Rob? What's something we can put on the line? It has to be by the end of the stream, a certain amount of likes.
I know, but I don't know that I want to do anything stupid tonight. Ordinarily, I would do stupid shit for the views. I like when G-Stack is here because I can just nominate him to do something stupid, right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't really got anything here. I mean, I could put tortellini on stream, I guess.
I do.
But
Actually, I mean, it's not even like that incentivizing though. But I got the smelling salts with me.
Oh, no. I don't even want you to do that. That shit almost made me throw up, man. That was gnarly. Why do you own smelling salts? What are you doing with smelling salts?
Lacrosse, hockey, going to the gym.
Yeah, like what do you just need it to like wake yourself up?
You just wake up, yeah.
You're
fired up.
Fuck, maybe I need some smelling salts next to my bedside table, man. You know how hard it is for me to get out of bed in the morning?
I didn't even think about that. I should be doing that.
Yeah.
I should be just the first thing I do when I wake up, grab the smelling salts. There's zero shot you're
not going to go back to sleep after that.
No.
See, like I hit the snooze like 48 million times. And then I get like all these messages from Moretto. You have time for a call? You have this? I'm like, bud, fuck, man. Just trying to sleep a little bit here. Big third down. Down.
He did that to me this morning. Actually, no, not this morning. Last week was something. And I saw it. And I was like, at least I was only like 10 minutes later, but it was because I did what you said. It's just snooze.
Yeah. 4th and 1. I mean, like, you should go for it here. There's maybe there's more of an argument, I guess, to possibly kick in this type of situation because the team that you're playing, but like they're not going to do that. It's Doug Peterson who's going to go. Big play. Big play. Man, we don't have an anytime TD for the Jags. That was a very clear and obvious error by us. That's a first down, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
How did I not get an anytime TD? We played Tank Bigsby last TD. I guess we really just need Jacksonville to pile it on here. Yeah. That's really what we're looking for.
I don't know, my friend.
Fuck, man. I don't know. What an oversight. Pretty good, bud. Pretty good. Oh, that's going to be a walk-in. You know, fucking ETN of all people. I mean, it was like minus 130. I was never going to lay it. Thanks for letting us know. I love when Doug's got to put up the one. We're going for one, boys. Like everyone on the field doesn't know that already. We're going for one. TD's in.
Flip
6-0.
it on its head.
We're going for one. I actually kind of miss the days. I'll talk to Eeager about this later. But I miss the days where like the Steelers just went for two on every play. Tomlin, for some reason, one year just said, you know what? Fuck it. We're going for two all the time. Made the craziest final scores. They hit like 7 or scoregamis that year. You know, it was nuts. That is a rushing play. That would be Travis Etienne, right end, rushing play. Would not be a Trevor Lawrence passing touchdown. Ball went backwards. Oh, man.
I'm thinking we get a Jag sack on this next drive.
How's that going for you right now? Competitive? How you faring?
I'm in the money.
Oh,
yeah.
How many are getting paid out on that $12.50?
That's a good question.
You don't have to go that. You don't have to go that far.
Moretto's shit talking me.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'll tell you something about bettors, Zach. Here's something. Moretto's shit talking you, right? The ones that go and start shit talking other people, that's generally the sign of a losing bettor. 99 times out of 100, the ones who have to post their winners are generally losers. Good to see you, Sir Horse. I hope I hope we're still friends when Bitcoin moons in the next 1 month, when I own the fewest coins that I've ever owned in my life. I hope we can still be buds.
50 payouts.
Yeah.
By the way, 50 payouts. Yep, top 50.
Yeah.
Need a clip of Knish laying in bed on Thanksgiving saying everything Lions.
No, I can't relive that moment. I cannot relive that moment. But actually, you know what? To cue it up for when they lose in the playoffs, great idea. Travis Sweet, brilliant. These are the kinds of ideas. This is the forward thinking that we need at the Hammer. Not Moretto, booking the same guests over and over. Zach versus Moretto MMA. This would be interesting because I don't actually think people realize how tall Moretto is. Like the first time you see him in person, you're like, holy fuck, this is a tall guy. If he put on some muscle, he'd be tough. He could fuck someone 100%. Up. Yeah. He's the guy that I wouldn't pick out in like a hockey brawl because of like his sheer size. But then you'd see him off the ice and you're like, oh, I should have throttled that guy. I don't know why I didn't skate up to him.
But he also he lives in the boonies. He's got the mustache. I don't know. He's degenerate. He's got little feistiness to him. He
does. How tall is he? I don't know. I would estimate 6'5". I'm 6 feet and he towers over me. He's uncomfortably tall. Let's put it that way.
Oh my God.
Are you watching the return that I watched like 7 minutes ago?
Yeah, when you did the countdown, I'm pretty sure I'm 11 seconds behind you.
There's a lot of laundry on the field right now. It's gonna come back. It's got to be a holding penalty. Yeah, sure is. Two Monday Night Football games next week, same time.
Yeah,
Both
what's
of
up
them
with that?
Start at 8:20. I don't know, but I liked it early in the year when we had 2 games at once. So it'll be interesting. I just don't know what the fuck we're gonna do.
Well, yeah, but those were 2 games at once, and they were staggered though.
Yeah,
an hour.
We're gonna have to think that one through a little bit better.
I feel like that was such a weird. I don't know if everyone in the States got that same camera cut, but of them handing out the Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah. It's
a Jags player giving Super Bowl tickets, like.
Yeah, I'll let you know, Zach. There's one feed for this game that's distributed worldwide.
Is that what it?
Yes.
Oh, I guess it's not a commercial. It was a regular broadcast.
It was part of. Yeah. It was part of the game.
My bad.
Like the games next week are Titans, Dolphins, and Packers, Giants. So you're going to have one prohibitive favorite in each of those games. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. We'll have to figure it out. But there's options at the very least. Mixon. No, that's bad. The rushing yards over. Guy missed the first tackle. It begins. That one was actually, I thought that was like a really good bet. I should have just went the rush yards. There's 2 tackles missed on the play. The game feed is correct, Nick. That was a pass to Mixon. Yeah. Oh, Chase Brown. There we go. Okay. All right. Chase Brown, 3 for 23. Very live, people. We're going to make it all up on Chase Brown. We're very, very live on Chase. No, stay on the field, Chase. Stay on the field, bud. Zach, we got to put a TV up tomorrow at the studio.
Yeah.
Before we record. But it's just dawning on me now that it's the aluminum studs. Like, we're going to have to put a piece of wood up. If anyone in the Toronto area is not building impaired, like me and Zach are.
No, I'm not.
You going to do this? You going to get the job done tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm pretty good with this. It's just more annoying than anything.
Okay.
I forgot about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shit.
I was just thinking.
You know what I also have to do? I have to transport.
You got to transport all the stuff. Yeah. It's tough. Bad break.
Yeah. What does everyone think about the studio, though?
Yeah, what do people think about the studio? Yeah. Dude, this play, this trick play that the Bengals just tried.
What the fuck is going on? Oh my god, does that count as a sack?
No, it's a pass completion from Jamar Chase to Jake Browning for, I don't know, what'd they lose there, like 6 or 7 yards? This offense is very, very bad with Jake. They don't have like any. I say this now and watch them just like burn me on the next. I'm gonna actually pause what I'm about to say to watch this third down so I don't actually inadvertently mush it.
Okay.
I don't want the full mush to happen. Yeah. Okay. It's like a wide receiver screen. They're incapable of throwing down the field. Like I need to see the graph, like the field graph, the next gen stats of where all the targets are, but there's nothing downfield, like literally nothing.
This is like Iowa against Michigan. Longest throw, 10 yards.
Dude. I understand how bad the NFL product is, so I'm just going to say this. Okay, 1 second. McPherson's coming out. This is a big field goal, right? 57 yards. Where can I bet the no on this? Where can I bet the no? All right, here we go. Oh, that looks good. Should have bet the yes. Oh, it's a crossbar. No good. No good. Looked like it was right down the pipe. Forgot it was 57 yards. God, the Bengals are so shit, man. The Bengals are so shit. Yeah.
Fucking no sack either.
Yeah. No sack. Dak looking to cash in because we sure as hell don't pay him enough. Doink right there. Boom. Boom. Yeah, like this offense is. Who does Cincinnati play next week? They can't move the ball through the air. They're actually incapable of throwing the ball more than 5 yards. They play the Colts. Okay, if there's a team that can all of a sudden make you capable of throwing more than 5 yards, it's the Colts. I'd have to think long and hard about that game because the Colts secondary is a disaster. What a mess. 2 plays ahead. Is anyone else 2 plays ahead? Monday Night Football already.
How?
No, this can't be the case. 2 plays? Impossible. I'm calling BS on D2. I'm calling BS on D2. What's the next question for the next drive?
Who's going to have the most offensive yards during the next drive? ATN, Ridley, Engram, or Zay Jones? And they have different payouts too. So
yeah,
it's
like based off of odds. I see.
Yeah,
I see.
I went with Ridley here.
How you doing? You still in the money, or are you starting to get bamboozled now?
No, I'm 55th right now because there's no fucking sack there, so I'm out of the money now.
Well, Milf Hunter says Ridley. Jimmy the bartender Ridley.
Let's go. All right.
Jeremy Kahn. I don't know, man. Fade the public. Fade the public. Public likes Ridley. Time to pivot. We got nobody said Zay Jones in the chat. Not a single one. It's gonna be Zay Jones.
Yeah, it's gonna be Zay Jones. He's also the least picked person right now.
Oh yeah. Fade the public, baby. Oh, Mao's in the money as well. Ridley all the way. Whoo! Don't know about that. I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I'll always have a special place in my heart for Calvin Ridley, considering he risked his entire NFL career on $50 bets on his team. Who does that? I don't know. But that's my kind of guy. That's my kind of guy. All right, play action. Oh, big bomb to Ridley. Oh, good defense. Good defense. They went deep to Ridley.
Fuck.
They went deep to Ridley.
Fuck.
Oh, sir.
Oh, my God.
All right. I'm breaking out the scotch. The sound.
Rob, have you ever had those? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just like a very sweet sound.
Yeah. Satisfying.
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
Fuck. Have you ever had those infused drinks? Not like the edible, the THC drinks, I guess is what they are.
I have not personally. I'd like to try. Here, Donkey Sports. I mean, you want to see the bottle? It's just a Macallan. It's a Macallan 12. That's it. It was gifted to me by someone that I just met for the first time, actually, ever, week ago. I'm a big fan of Macallan, though. Me and Spanky go to town on Macallan. That could be misconstrued. If yeah. Let's stricken that. Let's stricken that from the record.
Clips.
That can be taken the wrong way. All right, big third down. Zay Jones drop, of course. I mush Zay Jones, people. I mushed Zay Jones.
No, you didn't. You know who did? Moretto.
Did Moretto pick Zay
Moretto,
Jones? What
yes.
a scumbag. What a scum. D2, you're at 137 on the clock. How are you 2 plays ahead of me? I see 123. You're behind. What's going on here? Oh. Brad Dillon. How was Jeff's content idea? I don't know, man. We chatted for 2 hours. There were no content ideas thrown around. It was just some incredible ranting about the content space. Jeff was
so there was no real ideas. It was just
there was. I'm like,
the general
what do you want
state.
to meet? He's like, I don't really have some ideas, But first of all, why did these guys punt? I mean, I guess Cincinnati's offense can't really do anything. Maybe fair, but yeah, it was a good lunch. Treated him to some Italian food at Ricci's. Banger Panzerotti. It was really good, man.
Nice.
But
nice.
We do have to film a pilot for shooting the shit with Jeff Feinberg. The question is, do we actually just rent out an actual existing bathroom, or do we build our own set that's just like some toilets and bathroom stalls? Because I love this idea. Put some cameras on the backs of the stalls. Like this has to happen. And the fact that I'm talking about it, I mean, someone can steal it, but it's too good to not do.
Oh my God. Guess who's leading the challenge right now?
Oh no. Do I even want to know? Do I even want to
know? You know.
Does it happen to be late with Luke?
Oh God, no. That would be really bad.
Okay, that we cannot have in any capacity.
Yeah, no.
So Moretto's leading then.
Yes.
Correct. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Well, it's good that he'll make some money tonight, because then I can can him tomorrow and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, maybe that's the idea. Jeremy says, can you rent a bathroom? Maybe similar concept. It's just porta potties side by side. But then
that's not bad. But you can't really communicate. They do have the holes in the side.
Mesh, yeah.
Yeah. Go late night at a bathroom store with multiple toilets. First of all,
oh my God, let's break into Home Depot.
Well, I was going to say, like, what is late? First of all, what is a bathroom store? Do bathroom stores exist? I don't know. That's not like, I'm not familiar with just a bathroom store, but I don't know. Big third down here. That was Chase Brown that lost those yards, but he's got 5 carries. Joe Mixon only has 1. We're going to get fucked on this. Joe Mixon has barely been in the game. And of course he caught that screen pass and took it a mile. Jesus. D2, I'll get synced with you very shortly. I haven't been ignoring the messages. I'm just looking for a bathroom store in the area. Is it like the Jerk store? The Jerk store called. They're running out of you. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we actually have to have an idea. Potty. Yeah, La Porta Potty is pretty good. That's pretty good. We actually have to have an idea, though, that accompanies this. You know what I'm saying? Like shooting the shit is great.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what are we doing? Like,
I think it'd be really easy with Feinberg. We just make it like a podcast. You're just sitting on a shitter. You're just talking. Maybe it's like a 30-minute show, but it's just like a weekly thing. You're just sitting around talking about the state of sports, the state of the content industry. Like, it's not like Circles Off, where with Circles Off, it's more digging into kind of right and wrong or what makes you upset or things about like this. But like, it's just cracking jokes about the content industry, talking about golf, what's going on with what's Buddy's name that Feinberg, Ludwig Aberg.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he loves that guy.
Let him rant about Aberg. Let him rant about Tiger. You just kind of got to have somebody with him to like prod him a little bit, and then just let him.
Yeah, you got to fire him up. You just got to fire him up a little bit, and then let him go. Feinberg, he's like one of those dolls where you just like yank the thing at the back and he just keeps talking for a while. That's Feinberg in a nutshell. But he's a hidden gem, man. He's a hidden gem. We need to do more stuff with him.
Yes.
We need to do more stuff
Yes.
with him. Our next guest is actually the biggest Jeff Feinberg fan on the planet, if you can believe it or not. Dr. Eric Eager. How are things?
Things are good. I probably am Jeff's biggest stan, especially from a comedic standpoint. I find the guy hilarious.
He's really funny. We're still exploring the shooting the shit idea with Jeff Feinberg as like the main character, like the middle stall. But I don't really know what that is. I haven't fleshed it out fully yet, but he has to be the central figure, I think.
Well, if he's sitting in a stall, he's like automatically like the central figure.
Yes.
Right.
but like, you know how like our forward progress chat on Telegram, we'll all be chatting about something every now and then. There's like 7 or 8 of us in mid conversation. And then he just comes in with like something completely random and off topic. Friends, what do you think about the Bengals +10 tonight or whatever, while everyone's talking about something else? Like I just kind of want him to save all those thoughts and write them down and be like, save those and we'll record it. We'll record this all.
My favorite part about Jeff is he's not like unwilling to deal with the imperfections of the Chargers. He's very honest about them, but I've never seen somebody who's a fan of a team so earnest about that team.
Yes, I'm with you. Oh, look at this. Dylan just got your book in the mail today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Wow, they're throwing downfield the Bengals now all of a sudden.
Yeah, Chase has like 6 for 30 now or whatever the hell.
Well, I just went on a rant like last drive about how this team, like, I mean, what was the average depth of target before these 2 throws? Must have been like 1 yard.
Chase also one-handed a pass that like did not require it. That ball just like hit him in the face.
Yeah, it's true. But they're moving here, which makes the punt from midfield even like at the 40 even more egregious now for Doug. Doug's my guy. He's supposed to go for that stuff.
You know, you expect more out of Doug. Everybody who had a Joe Mixon carry prop a little bit irritated by the first quarter.
Okay, so Eric, I have Chase Brown anytime TD in this game. In real life, I have it to win almost $9,000 on Chase Brown anytime. They didn't offer a rushing total on Chase Brown in terms of overs, but instead of targeting Mixon unders in the rushing game because it had been bet down a lot, I, like an idiot, go and play the receiving yards because
and he
I don't
catches
expect
that little dumb screen.
Man, like, just cannot believe some of this shit that happens every now and then.
Oh my God. What did you think of the Chiefs Packers game last night, by the way, before we get too far into this one?
I was like, for a while, I was like telling myself, the Chiefs are broken, but they like didn't punt for the majority of the game. They just kept there was just like wasn't enough possessions as Andre Sisco's down on the field. I don't know, man. Like the Packers certainly look much different than the team I bet on Thursday Night Football in like week 3 that got smashed by the Lions and couldn't complete a forward pass. It's
I mean, even think
irrelevant.
back to the game that Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles, the Vikings manhandled them.
Yeah.
They were awful until like a month ago. And now they're second easiest schedule in the NFL per our numbers at Sumer. Like, they're making the playoffs. This is like unbelievable.
Yep. It truly is. What's also unbelievable is the pace of this game. Who mentioned it? Nick. Fastest first half I can remember, man. Like, yeah, we're at there.
Well, that's the thing. I like sat on the couch and I'm like, I'm just going to enjoy the first quarter. I'm not even going to look at anything. Like, I'm just going to chill. And then like I look up, there's like 4:21 left. And I'm like, geez, I got to get on here. Are you excited to have Fez on third quarter? What are you guys going to talk about?
I have no fucking clue, man. So many people have been one guy in the chat here, Brinks, wherever he is, he like messaged me a couple weeks ago and he's like, hey, I'm gonna book Fez for you for your stream. I'm like, don't do that, man. Like, I don't even really know what we're gonna chat about. But now the Jags cover this game, which I mean is up in the air now because like Jake Browning all of a sudden is just like moving the ball downfield inside the Jacksonville 10 right now. but he would move to number 1 in the Super Contest, or Circa Millions, I should say. So I want to talk to him a little bit about that. But I honestly have no idea how this is going to go. Zero clue, because he ordinarily does not want to talk like anything but football and pricing the games and stuff like that. So who's that in the backfield? Who is that? Not Mixon. Oh, not Mixon.
Oh, gee.
We just want Chase. Why can't Chase Brown's going to run us all the way down? Chase
I have
Brown's
so
going to
much
go.
Mixon exposure in best ball, so I'm like kind of happy. But man, that's a. I don't know why he's playing as little as he's playing if they're not going to go with Bryce Brown. You know what I mean? Well, he looks kind of spry.
Yeah, he broke through a tackle. I don't think he's down.
I thought he was down, but he wasn't.
His forearm didn't hit the ground. It was just like, so we're good. We're 7-7 now.
Yeah.
It looked short in real time. Like maybe he went down. His forearm went down.
No. Is Joe Mixon like? Is Joe Mixon this era's Eddie George?
Okay, like
all the stats are going to look bad, but he was a starting running back and productive for like a decade.
Yeah, maybe, but like Mixon actually, I don't remember enough about Eddie George's early years. My memories of Eddie George are him just being like I'll call it like a plotter. I remember Mixon actually having some burst at one point in his career.
Right. Not anymore, but at one point.
Certainly not anymore. Certainly not anymore. But yeah, at one point he did. At one point he did. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a good comp, personally. I don't think it's a good comp. I don't want to take a dump all over your comparison, but
it's okay. Like, look,
there's got to be a.
Are we allowed to talk about our trivia thing? Because I thought you represented like really. You legitimately scared me, and you did a good job during that one of not making fun of me for having the pick that I had of Drew Brees in the second to last one was bad, and you did a really you as a competitive guy, I could tell. You know, you were holding back a little bit, but you're a good friend. You didn't embarrass.
If it wasn't you, it depends on who I'm facing in that situation. Like if I was facing Kanish or Moretto or someone like that, and they made that pick, I would never let them hear the end of it. That's because I don't respect those people. I respect you personally, right? So the amount of respect, that I have for you goes a long way in me not making fun of you for that particular selection. I won't lie to you, Eric. I've probably watched that video back at least a half dozen times just to like figure out what I could have done differently. And what I did, which was my mistake in that, was I played the game essentially like Bill Belichick coaches games, way too conservatively. Yeah. I went to not make the mistake. I punted on 4th and 1 at midfield, basically. Like there was answers I knew were better, but were a little bit risky. So I just fell back on like, okay, I think this one's a certainty. And I should not have done that.
Well, that last question was like very similar in that regard, right? Like where there felt like some layups, but they weren't. Like if I would have completely shit the bed, you would have won. But I did okay in the last question. So you had to actually like B+ EV on that. And it was laying up, for those picks. It's funny though, like you think about like coaching, Sirianni kind of did the same thing against the Niners. It's so funny how we think about these. There's a guy in the league that messages me whenever like a sharp coach like fails the 4th down tests. And he's like, it's always easier to go for these 4th downs when you're leading or when you're ahead or when you're a favorite. And then like Sirianni like tenses up during the middle of an actual game where he's, where he's actually like challenged. It's kind of funny. Like, I feel like that's similar to what you're saying, where you're like, I just wanted to be I don't even think you played to be respectable. I think you played to win, but it was sort of like you were somewhat conservative too. Which is weird.
like the Brandon Jacobs is a great example, right? Where I had a very strong feeling Brandon Jacobs was high on that list, but that could have been a dumpster of an answer as well. I got scared away because I didn't want like the Jason Cooper, David Onyemata special. I almost got it with Amon Green. I almost got it, but
yeah, it's so funny though because that question was so revealing of how weird data is. Because the only reason Brandon Jacobs did well is because he was a very efficient backup to Tiki Barber. Got like 3 years. Remember when they called him the tiptoe burglar on the broadcast? Because he fell off so quickly that his like success rates couldn't even regress to the mean.
Yeah. Jacob did a great job of cutting that together and editing it. And he got me saying like, this is a great category. It's right up my alley, which it is. But I did not see the names of all the players before I mentioned that.
Yeah.
Like if it was everyone within the last 10 years, I would have had like a better example. But, I nailed the Gus Edwards one. Cam Akers was up there as well. Those are guys that I know had a high success rate. But anyways, it's just disappointing. And not only that, George G-Stack messages me. He's like, hilarious that you said you would have beaten anyone else other than Eric with these, if Eric wasn't the competitor. And I won't be able to prove that, right? But I thought it was a really good showing. I did.
Oh, for sure. You were ahead of me on point differential and even then, like I left the door open in the last one when I took Jeff Blake. Because I figured Jeff Blake was like an efficient, but the quarterback one was never going to work if you had a guy that was just kneel down guy and some scrambles like Jeff Blake. So like that was a stupid one on my part, but it was good. I thought the quarterback one was interesting. The receiver one where you could have taken was it Marcus?
I could have taken Marcus Colston. Yeah. But that's just a prime example. The process was there, Eric. But at the end of the day, the result, like I talked that through. I'm like, okay, to get 9th or higher, I probably need around 6,000 yards here. I'm fairly certain Jimmy Graham got the 6,000 yards. And then, boom, he did. But it was the 10th answer. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Does this Evan Ingram catch stand? It does, right?
Well, the bubble...
But like it will still be a reception for
yes, 1 for 2 yards. Or did he have a catch before then?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well,
it doesn't say no play on the play-by-play, so it was a catch. He also caught another one on the next play.
Yes, which I'm watching right now over the middle of the field. D2 in the chat. We are pretty close to synced up, by the way. I know you've been posting all your play-by-plays. I've been noticing them. We're pretty close to synced up.
Rob, you are hilarious when it comes to talking to people in the chat, like dead ass. The show that you do Sunday, which is like the only pregame show I now watch. When you went after the weather guy, that was pretty funny.
You know what? Like he messaged me on the side. We chatted it through as the day went on as well. But like I could not. What really frustrates me and where I get my back up against the wall and very defensive and upset, and obviously like you could see I was upset on Sunday morning, is when I feel like I cannot convey my point to someone, like they're just not understanding what I'm trying to say. And we're arguing different things. But like my point on the weather stuff is not, yes, you can bet the weather stuff early, but like in that past week, there wasn't a bad enough forecast in these games. Like you could have just waited for more perfect information.
From a mathematical standpoint, the weather forecast is incredibly noisy that far out, right?
Yes.
You're basically just using basically like season week adjusted, weather conditions for a place like Cincinnati or Jacksonville or whatever 7 days out.
Yes.
If you bet into that information, like you're just betting on a step in the random walk, which is
right.
like,
I agree.
And I don't get I don't understand how people don't believe that like you're just getting lucky if you pick the right side of that gamble. Like I don't get it.
Yep. I'm kind of with you. Now, this upcoming week is going to be interesting because it's looking bad in a lot of cases here, especially I think Chicago. But yeah, you just like I don't know. I tried to convey my point as best as I could, and I don't think I was getting it across.
That's the one thing also that I kind of have a hard time with gambling Twitter. Like, and I've said my piece with them. I like, tolerate them and all this stuff. But like the whole idea of like, just you can't agree to disagree on something is also hilarious, right? Like you weren't even a dickhead. You were just like kept talking and like kept trying to convey your point. And like he was incredulous at the idea that you wouldn't like immediately succumb to what he was saying. It was weird.
It was a tough one. It was a tough one for sure. Nick C in the chat says at least flat earth guy left. I wouldn't be so sure. I believe in my heart of hearts that flat earth guy is still in this chat under a different alias. I'm kind of listen, in another life I could have been a detective. There's some similarities to another person in the chat right now. I'm not going to throw it out there. Don't want to be accusatory.
Nick had something funny to say. He said, Diggs sent me this in the mail. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not especially nice to him. I just like, we'll play around with him on Twitter. And I got these. And now the Chiefs are 0-1 with that shirt. I might never wear it again. But
I don't know. So like, I apparently might be going to a Taylor Swift concert in Toronto with Diggs and Kirk Evans. I don't know if that's going to materialize or not, but I don't know. It's just like, it's just weird to me. The love-hate relationship that he has with me around the outside, Engram, he's in. He's in.
Evan Engram.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some real playmaking out of Ridley, Engram.
Yeah. I'm going to lose a lot of money on props tonight. That's going to happen. But I just need I need Jacksonville to win.
Is Bryce Brown going to get? Oh wow, he does. You should never draft a tight end, Rob. I've noticed.
I should never draft.
Why would you ever draft a tight end in the NFL? High. They always end up being like they always take 4 years to develop. After 4 shitty years with their initial team, they never like the only tight end that stayed was Njoku. And like when they signed him, that was a bad deal, everybody thought. Like Engram was like dog shit for the Giants. And now he's like, you see him turn the corner? That's not a real tight end.
I know. That's some explosiveness, some burst right there. But yeah, we got some good ones. We got Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta. Like we don't know how they're going to mount to over their career. But yeah, like I guess Kyle Pitts was like somewhat of a bust. I mean, his placement or where the team that he went to could have had a lot to do with it. Bob says, it's crazy how bad the mainstream NFL pregame shows are. I always watch pregame shows now. I never did before, but because I'm at my desk and I'm working, I turn on a pregame show. And tonight's pregame show, they had John Perry talking about the Hail Mary last night, where like Travis Kelce got pushed in the back.
Dude.
And John Perry basically just came on and was like, the rules, while they're still the same in the rule book, are different on a Hail Mary. Like he's like, that play will never be called for a penalty. The only play that you can basically be called for a penalty is if you grab someone's shoulders and push them down. But even then, there's a high likelihood that we wouldn't call it. He was basically just saying like, this is free reign on the final play of the game to just do whatever the hell you want, and it's going to happen. And like, I will say, at least the consistency has been there over the years where they never call this stuff. But it is rather annoying that on the final play of the game, you can just do whatever you want. And it's like, because we just have accepted that to be the case. Like, it's actually absurd to hear a referee say that.
Yeah, what was the Gronk got interfered with in, of course, it's a Vikings game. Remember the Vikings Bucks in 2020 at the end of the first half? That was the only one I've ever seen. I've seen just as many pick sixes on Hail Marys now as I've seen pass interference penalties. Yeah, that is weird. I mean, that game last night was just like a cluster. I mean, ultimately the result was probably correct, right? The Packers winning by a score, I felt like was the right outcome. But the way that they got there was just like the league is that way, right? Like the league, I say always like just like they win, but they don't cover every single week. It's just like that. We're still going to show up and watch. We're still going to commentate, to your point, and then but they're still like just so below expectation. The NFL, it's unbelievable.
So there was a game earlier this year, which I cannot recall. I was on air. It was the game where Al Michaels had such a brutal call on the Hail Mary. It was actually I can't even remember what the call was, but it was just like, dude wanted to get out of that stadium as quickly as possible that night. But one of the receivers could have caught it, but he wasn't.
Oh yeah, that was the Bills versus the Bucks, where the ball landed in the middle of the end zone, and Godwin saw that, right?
Right. So on that play, though, if you watch carefully, Godwin is not an intended receiver on that play. He is literally just trying to block guys so that Mike Evans can get to the ball. So he has no idea. It's right there for him to catch, but he's literally running down the field. And honestly, that's great coaching. I know it didn't work out for them, but they're basically making a stance of like, you're not going to get called for shit on this play. Just go run interference on everyone possible, and we can try to get a guy open. But it didn't work out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny about pregame because we used to do one at PFF for 2 years for NFL and 1 year for college. And like, it's actually like not that hard to do a good job, on a pregame and I think betting helps. Like you could tell the people that like have no idea what the two teams are like power rated or whatever. But it's kind of crazy, how bad some of these shows are. I mean, or how like kind of out of touch like some of the folks on air are.
This Bengals offense looks really good right now. After the first drive, they came out very conservative and like running, short passing, and they're doing a little bit of that now, but they're really catching the Jags D off guard. It's been like pretty successful since the early going for them.
Yeah. And Jake Browning just made a terrific play to the tight end. Like, that play fake where somebody's in his face right away and he just kind of dumps it off.
Yeah. Next week's
Trayvon
game,
Walker, by the way, like the worst first overall pick in a long time.
Right. Yeah. Gotta be.
That was the first guess that everybody had except for the Jags.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I'm going to say this right now, this is backed up by my numbers as well, but I think Aiden Hutchinson is probably the most overrated player in the league right now.
Yeah. The one of the things at PFF that made me the most uneasy about anything was how much we hyped up Aiden Hutchinson in the pre-draft process, because we knew we had a big Michigan connection at PFF. People don't know Michigan was the first ever PFF college client. And so that like the whole Hutchinson podcast, that whole thing made me a little uneasy for sure. Because like it's sort of, and then now like there's obviously an incentive for like Collinsworth on air to like puff him up, and so he's good, but like, is he like Ryan Kerrigan? I mean, am I making like too much of am I making it too much of a comparison there? Like, I don't think he's elite. I think he's like George Karlaftis.
He's definitely not elite. He's a volume stats player. He plays a lot of downs. Like, he doesn't come off the field, basically. And that contributes. But no, I mean, I think that definitely the most overrated. Browning scrambles, picks up, finds Mixon in the flat. Oh,
your Mixon prop is
cooked.
Yeah.
Cooked. Anyways,
you're looking
we
for
move
one of
on.
those like throwbacks for -7 right now. What was his number? Probably over already.
2.5 under plus 130.
Okay, so you're at receptions. Never mind. Okay,
Yeah.
so you still got one. Still got you still got no more catches rest of the game cushion, I guess.
Yeah.
Jake Browning does look pretty good right now.
He does. And this is going to like give credence to Joe A on Twitter, who thinks Burrow's a sieve, you know?
Yeah, when does that podcast come out?
90 Degrees with G-Stack and Joe A. I have the date, but it's dropping shortly. It's dropping shortly. For those that don't know out there, we'll give some background because I would highly suggest you tune into this. Did it drop 2 minutes ago? Did it actually drop? All right.
Dude, by the way, M. Hunter, who Jason calls MILF Hunter during the Thursday show, he was in at the Sumer Sports Show today. Hey, M. Hunter.
Yes. So MILF Hunter was actually coined by Suma, of all people, where he just said, like, MILF Hunter in the chat says this. And we pulled it up and it's just, we're like, yeah, his first name is obviously just like Mark or Mike or Max or something. And that's why it's M. Hunter. But it was coined by Suma. And now we can't let it go. But
Jake
for those that
Browning's
don't know,
15 of 16 for 156.
Is that his numbers? 15 of 17 now. He just the ball got batted down at the line. So it's going to be a big 3rd and 5 here at the Jacksonville 29.
Big for the people who had a little bit of Jacksonville -6 1H, right? Like that's going to be a
sweat. That's a sweat. And he hits it, man. Tyler Boyd, Browning hit him, man. 16 of 18. This is really impressive. The look ahead number, or like the line that was posted earlier today on Colts Bengals, the total was 40.5 next week.
Colts are an over team to the T, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, this is like Mass says, like everyone is so open. They're just running open, man. They're doing a really good job here. It's scary.
God, give Kansas City one of these wide receivers.
Yeah. Oh man,
like,
that would be something.
Tilting.
Yeah. Higgins in the offseason to Kansas City.
I don't know if the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Brett Veach is like he will do what it takes to like that one off season when all the guys got hurt. They were like, it was like Joe Tooney to the max deal, center in the 2nd round, guard in the 6th round, trade for Orlando Brown. Like whenever there's like an issue, they always like address it. Cleve TA making fun of me for comparing white edge rushers to other white edge rushers.
I was just going to bring that up right now, but yes. Yeah, you just named a bunch of
I was
other white
Trent
edge
Murphy,
rushers.
and then I was just like,
just a bunch of white edge rushers. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson reminds me of this other white guy in the league. Yeah.
Wait, is that Kyle Van Noy? Or is that is that Kyle Van Noy? Like, yeah, something like, it's bad.
Trey Hendrickson, man. Big time.
Who was the Packer back in the day? Aaron Campman. This is like my immaculate grid. Like,
oh man, yeah, that's where I cannot compete with you. Immaculate grid. I have no hope. No hope.
There was one where there's some weird team crossovers where there's like just like the Bengals are one because they're so freaking cheap. The Bengals don't crisscross like there's like 2 or 3 people that have ever played for both the Packers and the Bengals, like ever. Patrick Kearney's a good one.
Patrick Kearney.
Thomas has some funny stories about Patrick Kearney and his time with the Falcons.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. While we're at the 2-minute warning here, what's your take on Philly at Dallas being 3.5?
I mean, it's a lot of the same. You have Dallas coming off rest, Philly, kind of banged up. I think the big issue, though, the difference, and I think I said this on a bunch of shows this week, but like the Eagles, like trying to moneyball linebacker and safety is like a thing that works for 13 to 14 games a year, but like doesn't work. It's like when Billy Beane said my shit doesn't work in the playoffs, like that's like the way the Eagles play defense. I also just think that the Eagles, in addition to their strategy, like just don't have that much talent on defense anymore in the backfield.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Kyle Vanden Bosch was the name I was thinking of, Barry Horse. That's a very good one.
Yes, White and Lions. He hits 2 of the criteria for you. 2 of the criteria. First and 10 here. I imagine they'll run.
What do you think? So I don't make the game 3.5, but like I make the game. I make the game 3. So obviously, I think it's gone a little too far. But I mean, Dallas's defense is the only issue. Like last week, coverage wise and all that stuff. Like I think you have to look over in the game at some point.
Yeah,
Hurts health is a big deal.
I wanted to see a smaller number for the total, but yeah, we're not obviously like everyone's thinking along the same lines as us. I think right now with that total, but I'm with you. I do see points. Oh, Browning, what a touch pass that was, man. Whew.
Jeez.
It's looking good.
By the way, Mixon's trying to get to that get to that rushing attempts prop here.
He's at 5.
He's got 5. 13.5 was pregame.
Yeah.
Still seems like a climb unless, I mean, the Bengals, get the ball to start the.
No, Bengals started with the ball.
Bengals started with the ball. Okay. So, yeah.
But the Mixon total got bet down a lot. It got bet down from 15.5, I think, earlier in the week.
Okay.
Jacksonville using timeouts here, by the way, which you wouldn't see every coach in the league do. But Doug gets it. So we're probably going to see, I would assume we're going to see a Bengals second down run here or first down run here.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Just going back through the last 2 minutes of the chat. And there were so many white players named in this chat that I could not even keep up. AJ Hawk's a reach though, different position.
Yeah.
AJ
Hawk, one of the 3 players that have ever played for the Packers and the Bengals.
Yeah. Okay. Down to the 2, timeout by Jacksonville. By some miracle of God, could we get Chase Brown into the game?
What would you love more than them lining up Mixon and Chase Brown in the same backfield, and then they fake to Mixon, pitch to Brown? That'd
be so absurd. Do they still have what's his name? He's eluding me. Travion Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 running backs in the backfield would be incredible.
Can we pause about the absurdity of the whole, they need to play both guys in the backfield at the same time. Either one's ever been a freaking fullback before. And it's the most overhyped thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's Mixon, untouched, right up the gut. Oh, all that over money today looks pretty solid right now. Man, this is scary now. I need the Jags to win this game. This is getting scary because the Bengals are moving the ball with ease, absurdly easily in this game.
I've won a couple of these competitions on the locker, by the way. This is kind of a fun little game.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
As long as Moretto doesn't win, that's all that matters. Right. That's all that matters.
All my Joe Mixon best ball exposure being paid off after 13 weeks just makes
there
me
you
feel
go.
happy.
There you go. All right, we got 1 minute and 4 seconds for the Jags with a timeout. What do you think I should talk to Fez about in the third quarter?
Oh my God. Good question.
Yeah. What if we have him on for 4 minutes? Then you come back into the stream. We drop the Stone Cold Steve Austin Glass Shatters music. You come in, give him a piece of your mind, and then we boot him. How about that?
I did the Ross. So long before the Simon Hunter episode, I did the Ross Tucker show with Fezzik once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've done a show. I did that podcast that Simon, I did that. It was me, professional bettor Simon Hunter, Darren Ravel, and Chad Millman. I did that show 3 years ago. Yeah. And it was kind of fun. They had a trivia component to it. It was okay. But yeah, I mean, I thought Fez and I were at least, friendly, but then he just goes and tries to roast me.
Dude, like all you said was the number to play it up to. You're like, I make this game 4. I'd play this up to 3. Like, I don't even know what the issue is. I honestly don't know what the issue is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, now that I'm a winner in my best bets again, I can, yeah.
So me and you win our best bets. Hitman, unfortunately.
I mean, by the way, it doesn't get talked about enough. The Browns royally fucked that game yesterday.
It was the Flacco interception that changed it all.
It was
completely.
And it was a totally ill-advised interception. You had double coverage on the
Well, they did bring the guy in off of his couch this week, so we can excuse him for.
Yeah.
Sadly, he was actually the best option, and it looked like by a mile he was the best option from what I saw yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the missed extra point was a thing, but I actually thought the missed extra point was going to help in some ways because, the Rams are like, how McVay is with a lead.
Yep.
And so I figured it was setting. Honestly, you get that ball to midfield and you punt, the cover's over, I think.
Right.
But it spiraled out of control.
I knew this was good. I knew this was cut. So the reason I brought up Joe A, he just tweeted at me right now. If only Joe Burrow were as good as ... checks notes ... Jake Browning. And here it's coming. I cannot actually wait for this week. So Joe A was on with G Stack for 90 degrees. That's going to drop. But Joe A has a very unusual way of grading players, I would say. He's a big fan of...
Which, by the way, so he tweets out that, like, PFF, like, the biggest thing that people hated about PFF when we would do grades live was that they would grade with the broadcast copy and then revise the grades with all 22. Joe's just like grading on the broadcast copy, which to me is like, I don't know. I think you're missing out on some things, boss. That would be that'd be my take.
Yeah. Oh, it's too funny, but here we go. Yes. This is when he roasted Joe Burrow. And I said, if only he could have had the pocket presence of checks notes, Sam Howell, because Joe does believe Sam Howell is much, much better than Joe Burrow.
Which it's so funny. Like, he also tweeted yesterday that Marcus Mariota is much better than Jalen Hurts, which I feel like you've gotten a few market assessments of that take, and they've all been the other direction. And I'm not saying that like everybody in the NFL is smart. I'm saying like the amalgamation of the NFL opinions are probably better, at some level than something that's off market. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the funniest thing about my Sam Howell take is I don't even think Sam Howell's that bad. Like, I just said on radio I somehow caught like 3 radio stations in the DC area in 1 week, and they all asked me the same question. Like, what do you think of Sam Howell? And I'm like, I think Sam Howell is like a backup quarterback. Like, he's a good backup quarterback in the NFL. Like, how is that that's as good of a bet as anyone? Like, a guy that's a 5th round pick is going to be a backup in the league?
Yeah, but they're not looking for him to be a backup, Eric. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, they want it so badly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lawrence took a sack here on 2nd and 2, so that's going to force 3rd and 10.
Yikes!
Don't want to give it back to the Bengals with their timeouts.
No,
and
not with
Hall of
Jake
Famer
Browning.
Jake Browning back there. He is playing great today, though. Browning in the early.
Oh my
going.
God, he's playing amazing football.
Yeah,
that Jags defense was pretty good up until this week too.
Yeah, Sung Lee asked, "Did the Jags defense lose someone?" I mean, they've just lost their pride. Is all. They didn't lose any players. Andre Sisco got hurt, but like I haven't seen if he left the game.
Yeah. Well, it was the same. Like, the Chiefs had injuries yesterday, but like defense just regresses at the end of the year, right? Like, Chiefs were really good defensively until yesterday, and then they got railroaded by the greatest show on the frozen tundra.
Yeah, Sam Hubbard, great white edge rusher, confirmed.
Yep, him and Hendrickson, like the two. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens here. I'm genuinely scared right now. Oh. What? Wow. Is this real life? And he dropped it. Oh, no. My God. Wow. What a great play from Lawrence, man. I mean, it was a wounded duck. Don't get me wrong. But, like, it was there.
Oh, this is rough.
This is rough, man. The stars are aligning. I cannot believe that he almost made that play.
Yeah.
I can't like that. I think, of course, we're not even going to get like a replay on the broadcast. Got to cut to the punt.
What kind of grade does Joe A give that throw?
I don't know. It's a good question.
We have so many more. That's going to be like the quickest 90 degrees follow-up in the history of the podcast. Because that show is going to get a lot of listeners. It's probably going to be entertaining, and people are going to want to follow up with them.
Yes. We are getting word that Moretto has won. We're getting word that Moretto is the victor.
It just means you don't have to pay Alec for another week.
All right, so I can confirm Moretto first place. He won by a margin of 194 points. Yeah.
I don't know.
That
I don't
last
know
play, that drop pass,
yeah,
got me into 9th place overall. I went with 2 completions made on that last to try to differentiate myself from the pack.
Yeah.
Moretto had 3+ there, would have put him even further ahead.
Wow.
But,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, can confirm.
Wow. So tough break. I guess that's going to be the last one that we can ever run. Obviously a broken game. Obviously a broken.
Yeah.
It's like the beautiful mind when John Nash loses go and he gets him. His game must be flawed. Kicks the thing over, rips around.
So I love that movie, man. Really good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. Might be due for a real.
Yeah, it slows down at the end, but like the first half of the movie is like just bangers after bang. Like Nash, who are you talking to? Who are you hanging out with? You or you? It's like just a great
line. Live game line at Pinnacle right now is now Jags minus 5.5, and the total is up to 50 in this game. I'm actually tempted to take the Cincinnati team total over 21.5 at plus 111.
Right.
But like, I don't want to have to root for that is the problem.
Well, the problem is because the Jags are like enough out of sync. Not so much. 14 in the first half is fine, but like,
yeah,
you have exposure on the Jags all day, right? So
yeah,
you don't want to have to root for that.
I don't want to have to root for it. I mean, this has been like a clinic from the Cincy offense in the first half. 233 yards, 6.7 yards per play. Browning 17 of 19 for 178 yards. I mean, I did not expect that from Jake Browning. And I watched the Bengals Steelers game in full last week. He was like deer in the headlights.
No, he was brutal last week.
Like deer in the headlights. And like, this isn't Pittsburgh. This is Jacksonville, but this is sold out prime time. It's very loud. I've been struggling to hear the commentators at some points. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. I could not bet the Jags at minus 5.5 live game line right now. I could not do that.
Yeah. I mean, the question is like, yeah, I think sustainability is going to be tough, but it's not like the Jags. Yeah. It's not like the Jags are, they don't have a stopper on defense. I mean, Aluakon and Lloyd are like good linebackers, but they're not, they're not like Ray Lewis, right? So like, they're not going to go out there and, kill an offense or something like that. So
I am very tempted. There's some juice associated with it on Pinnacle right now, but Jags third quarter over 6.5 is minus 155.
Yeah. The Bengals defense is not improved. So
yeah, like this wasn't by any means a clinic by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the first half, but they still have 6.3 yards per play. Ridley dropped the deep ball downfield. Yeah, that's a little bit tempting to me. Over 6.5 points, minus 155. It's being bet right now. It's actually just up to minus 160 in real time. But that's kind of the way I would look here for a third quarter Bet. We don't use the L word, TK Stan. We do not use the L word here on Forward Progress. Last time the L word was used was when Joey Knish appeared from his bed and told us
took the Lions at all numbers.
All numbers. We don't even know what he bet that day.
The last lock to ever happen was the anthem in the Super Bowl, and we know who ruined that.
Right. We know who ruined that. I'll never get over that.
It's honestly the worst. Like yeah. There was no all to get like all the tout one pick in your little like Super Bowl preview. All the like I don't know. I know a trip out to the Super Bowl is expensive. Don't get me wrong, but like you can do better than that.
Okay, there's two that ruined it. There's the touting of the pick, but there's also the guy that with the stopwatch outside the stadium recording the rehearsal and posting it to Twitter. In fact, every now and then I go back to see the replies to that thread, and anyone who like retweeted him or like quote tweeted him and said like, this guy's doing us a favor or whatever, I've just muted them. I never want to interact with these people again in my life. In fact, there's so many of those people are content creators now. And like, you should absolutely just ignore everything they say for the rest eternity. If you cannot understand why someone publicly posting a video of recording the anthem rehearsal time to Twitter is not a good idea, then you should not be producing sports betting content ever in life.
Right, exactly. But we've gotten to the point where, and again, this was me like 6-7 years ago. We have people who are like producing betting content that know what a glass of water in the ocean's worth of betting, knowledge.
Yeah.
Even what I've learned from you guys over the past like just a couple of years of just like, friendship and just like seeing how you guys operate. Like there's just so much there, right? And I get that. But I also think for 2 seconds about why that could be a problem. And in a world where like, to your point about locks, there's no such thing as a lock. Even like the anthem back when that we could always get the best of it, you were still sweating out the anthem.
Right.
Like you were still.
I'm sorry, I can't get over this fake comment. I work sportsbook here in San Jose. We rooting for Mr. Steve Fezzik. Such a good comment. It's so good, man.
The other one, sorry guys, I'm watching Chris Berman's fastest 3 minutes.
You know what, man? Berman, he used to be like the GOAT for a while. I don't have bad things to say about Berman. I don't know.
If you could still go to YouTube and like every single NFL primetime from like 1991 is up on YouTube. It's hysterical stuff. Football, like the quarterbacks back then were so bad. Like we think they're bad now, but like him having to like lipstick on a pig all of those games was a hero's effort.
It really was. How many people are out there right now mashing the second half under because of the primetime unders trend? It's got to be pretty high. Like I'm not with my friends right now, but I can only imagine if we were watching this game together, the best man at my wedding, Steve, would be guys, all these games, these primetime games, it always looks like they're going over, and it's going to go under. Garrett, second half under. And he'd be just like be going nuts with this right now. No one knows Steve, and they don't recognize the voice. Maybe a few people in here, but like I can see that in the rec circles right now. People going nuts. Second half under, primetime unders.
Primetime unders.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the point of doing that now would be though, because like, I mean, unless this game dies on the vine, like, are we saying just like the trend is overall good? Like, that's what I don't get about trends. Like, do we think this game's really going under the pregame total of around 40? Like that would be tough, but it's happened.
It could happen. Deep dives on over 20.5. Deep dive over 20.5. We
By
had
the way,
bump.
Andy Molitor is like in the Jeff Feinberg tier of hilariousness in gambling Twitter.
Dude, when I got to mini golf in a threesome with these two clowns. Do you know how fun that day was for me? It was incredible. Jeff, for the entirety, for the couple days leading up, could give two shits about that mini golf. He shows up to the course that morning. I've never seen the guy more determined in my life. All of a sudden, he's taking it all seriously. You know, he's going. Andy shows up that morning. He's just there for a fucking good time to play around a mini golf. He doesn't give a shit. You know, offshore sports books are offering lines. People are steaming Andy. I'm like, holy shit! Like, this is no. He has absolutely no hope. I've just watched.
He's also from Minnesota, where you can only play mini golf like 6 months a year. Like, you just have an advantage, you know. Well, I guess you're from Canada, so it's. But even Toronto's better weather than freaking Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yes, he flew out to honestly just drink some beers with me in Myrtle Beach. Let's, you know, and it was a great time. We mini golf. He did what he needed to do to promote the event. He was cordial. Everything was good. But then the event was over, and he said, Rob, we're hitting up a sports bar. Watch some NHL playoffs with Andy. Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers. It was a good time. He's a good dude.
I've never met him in person. I've met, which is weird because we're both from Minnesota. I have met Drew at the Super Bowl. Drew's a good time as well. That's what you guys, like the Hammer, we got to get a presence out at the Super Bowl this year. Get a little Radio Row action.
We don't make enough money yet. I'm going to ask Moretto to donate the money that he won tonight to the Hammer, actually, from his locker winnings. Either that or I'll just cut it from his paycheck and we'll call it even. But yeah, we need to. I mean, we need to. Although I don't know that that's our. I know the Super Bowl is like, you know, biggest NFL game of the year. I don't know that that's our vibe or our jam.
So so I went to the one in 2020, the 2019 season, and then there was a pandemic, and then I've been to the two since. In that 2-year span, it's gone from almost no sports book like branding anywhere, the one in Miami. Now it's like just everything is sportsbook related. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, and it's a lot of like, honestly, like the Hammer would stand out as like, oh, these are intelligent people talking about, like Scotty Farrell being like, hey, I like the over in this game, you know, like through the middle of
what a Farrell impression that was. I remember Farrell so well. He's still doing.
I did his show, and he said this dead ass on air. He goes, what do you think about the gambling aspect of football now? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, back when I did my show first, I'd talk about an over-under. They'd look at me like I was a pedophile. He said this on air. I'm trying to like compose myself.
Have you ever done anything with Gabe Morency?
No.
Okay. So he works with Farrell at Sports Grid, but I used to produce Morency back in the day. And like, I wouldn't use the pedophile thing, but when I first worked at The Score, I worked for the radio division, Hardcore Sports Radio. And all we were doing was talking betting on air. Like, it basically just became, it was 2 hours a day of regular sports talk. Everything else was betting. It was just like degenerates working there. And we were definitely viewed in that building as like not serious, unserious people. Let's put it that way. You know, one of my first days ever with Morency, this guy only writes on paper and highlighter. Okay. He doesn't use pen. So he's writing with a pink highlighter, just random numbers on paper. And he's like, Pizzola, come over. And I'm like an intern. Pizzola, come here. I'm like, okay, I walk over. There's just a paper with all of these numbers on them, like 5-digit numbers, but like in different orders. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. It's the same numbers. And I'm looking at them, and he's like, Pizzola, I need you to go to archives and get me all of these tapes. And I'm like, okay, what for? He's like, don't ask questions. I need all these tapes from archives. So I walk into archives. There's like people who work in archives watching me just take tapes, which like you're supposed to sign out and stuff like that. But I'm just taking tapes of old things and bringing them to his desk. So I bring them to his desk, like 10 tapes. He pops open the first one, tape in there. He closes it. He just throws it like it's nothing. Just throws it to the side. Pops open the next one, throws it. Pop open the third one. It's a giant bag of weed. The third tape from archives. And he's just like, all right, bring the rest of them back. It was just a bag of weed This is like 2008. Thank you. He's like, Pizzola, great job. I can always rely on you or whatever. He literally had a stash in archives of the building he worked at, couldn't remember the number of this actual thing, and sent me to go get all these tapes. And then I go back and I'm returning all these tapes afterwards. They think I'm insane. But yes, Gabe was, he was like, Pharrell was part of that late night crew as well at that time. And some of the stuff with those guys was just unreal, man. Unreal. Absolute gold.
Pharrell used to like party with Dimitrov. That's how they knew each other. And so like there was a connection there. The Super Bowl is a spectacle, if not like if just for the fact that you get to watch Emmitt Smith try to run around Radio Row selling his tequila brand.
Yes. It's funny you mentioned that. I was doing Miami radio a couple weeks ago, and I do that with Mark Hawkman and Channing Crowder. And Crowder's got like all these boxes in behind him. I'm like, oh, Crowder, you moving or something? He's like, no. He's like, Charles Woodson just sent me a bunch of boxes of his wine. And he's like, I don't want to drink this stuff or whatever. But anyways, Eager, all good, man. Appreciate you joining.
Fezzik, say what's up.
I will.
All right, see ya.
Eric Eager, Sumer Sports, everyone. Make sure you check out his stuff. It's a great website. Very useful for advanced analytics. And actually sign up to the newsletter as well, which I get in my inbox pretty regularly. Pretty interesting stuff all around. Sumer Sports. But the moment most people here have been waiting for. They've been waiting. The people have been waiting. He's got $1 million in lifetime contest wins. Back-to-back winner of the Westgate Super Contest and looking to make it another contest win this year with a big sweat in the second half. Steve Fezzik joins us here on Forward Progress. Fez, how's it going?
Jacksonville Jaguar defense letting me down.
Honestly, I have some teasers to close with Jacksonville, moneyline parlays to close with Jacksonville. I did not expect this output from the Bengals offense at all.
And Mr. Browning, who last time I was watching him led to a week of frowning, frankly. So
when was that?
Quite the, by the way, that used to be for this Cincinnati Reds fans. They had a year Danny Jackson went like 23-5 and Browning was great also. So it was Jackson and Browning in 3 days of frowning.
Right. And of course we're going to have a 4th and 1 coming up right here. And I assume they're going to punt. Let's see if they actually punt this away. Fez, I want to make sure I'm synced up with you here so that we're not spoiling one way or not. You have hands in the air because you're watching a punt, correct?
I'm at 13:29.
Okay, so I'm 5 seconds ahead of you. I'm going to pause it here for 5 seconds so that I'm in sync with you. That way I'm not spoiling plays for you. So I'll give it as soon as the play clock comes back.
Why don't teams just have a play where they go zebra, and that means rush to the line of scrimmage, split out 3 wide receivers, and immediately quarterback sneak? It has never failed in the history of the NFL. As long as you get to the line quickly. Now, when you pause, screw around, tick, and now your O-line's not in sync, I know that fails all the time. But if you rush to the line of scrimmage, you always get it.
But like, even if they just snap it, they snap it to like the up back in this situation, they're going to get the first that. Like, I've never seen that not work for 1 yard. It just doesn't happen.
Well, it doesn't work if you put in 3 tight ends, because then it's like that. You're old enough, right, to have had that electric football game where you stack all the players together, and if you put them all next to each other, it just goes and nothing moves. Yes.
Oh man, I don't know. This is the NFL. We know the unpredictability of it. If you do win this, if Jags cover 8.5, which was the contest line, I believe you move into first place. Is that correct?
Yes, and if they lose, which is looking more and more likely, against the spread, with the current line down to 4.5, looks like, still be in second place. So
still going to be up there. I want to buy a piece of your entry.
Absolutely not.
But you didn't even hear the offer yet.
It doesn't matter. You could be a great plus EV offer, because I got to tell you. So for those who missed it, Rob and I did it with Johnny. We did a a podcast back in the summer, and Johnny basically said, Fez, if you're so smart, how come you don't have like $30 million to bet? It exponentially would have grown to that level. And Rob kind of sat back and let us go to war. And I mathematically answered it. And it was like, then you guys came on and you just blew off. You never even like gave my response that, you know what, it's hard to mathematically grow something when you have this enormous monthly nut that you have to pay to live, including, sending your child to a private school, etc. And I literally I just said, oh, God damn it, if the mortgage due, there's another $6,000 loss to my bankroll. I mean, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you don't have to show vitriol to me or anything. I was just like a neutral party in that conversation. I understand both sides of it. I get both perspectives. Johnny's very different from me. I also have bills to pay. Maybe not anymore or whatever. I don't have a mortgage or anything like that. But for a while I did. And that takes out of your bankroll and spending and whatever that matters. But it depends on the motivations of the bettor as well, which I find. At one point, when I was Johnny's age, he's 7 or 8 years younger than me. All I could think about was money. All I cared about was money. My sole motivation was to grow my bankroll. And then I eventually burnt myself out after 2 or 3 years straight of sitting at a desk betting. I was like, there's more to life than this. So I understand, but motivations are different for different people, Fez.
Well, what's interesting too is that Johnny, there was a year, and I always get the other one wrong. There was maybe someone in the chat can help out. There was the year that both these magician stories came out. One was The Prestige, which was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And there was another magician story as well, where the guy is the detective's giving. Do you recall these?
Well, Prestige I watched. That's mid 2000s.
Yes, it was in the same year. Another magician, but basically they were going to arrest a magician for falsehoods. And the magician opens up his window and he screams, "It's a trick! It's not real!" So how can you arrest me when he's telling everyone? And my point is Johnny's well, if you're up 100 units, you should just be betting 30,000 a game, no problem. And I'm I don't expect to win 100 units a year. I have no expectation that I can pick 55% against widely available lines in the NFL midweek. I mean, it's true. I ran good for 1 year and he's gone, touchdown. So the teaser, we pulling back the curtain, if you will. Whenever I see a big line move like this, and my friends know that this is the case, we have a philosophy, APB, and Hitman strongly disagrees with me. Okay. Always play back. And the reason being, when the story, the good story, all aligns in one direction, inevitably, you wind up getting bargains on the other side of a game. So this being an example where this line sits out there at 8.5 all week long, and it goes to 10, and people are like, hey, Fezzik is hitting 73%. I got to back him. Well, you'd be out of your mind to back me laying 10 on a game that was 8.5 all week long, and didn't even give it out to my clients and the like. And, write a post, boom, up comes the plus 10.5, lay 15. Now, the one confusing part of that is that I would have bet huge if the, MGM Sports or, Station, a place like that went to 10.5. But in this case, it was Circa that went to plus 10.5, lay 15, $100,000 betting limit. So the sharpest book in the world, and I saw bookmaker went to plus 10, lay 105. So the bargains were being offered by the sharpest book in the world, and that caused me to pump the brakes on playing back.
Totally understandable. I've talked many times before about the Pinnacle lean as well. And typically speaking, when you do see the sharp sports books all taking a stance on one side and all the rec books are on the other way, kind of, lets you know where the money should be placed. I have to ask you right now, I don't know if you have a pricing model or anything like that in real time. Who do you think should be favored in the game right now? Bengals up 21-14.
I think Jacksonville, small favorite. Maybe Jacksonville wins 50. I would say I actually would go 54%. Okay. That's no pricing model. That's just off the top of my head.
Okay. So Pinnacle's moving on.
Minus 100, I absolutely would bet big on Jacksonville, but I don't need to because I'm going to lose my balls off on teasers. So I've already bet it. So there's no need to worry about that. By the way, Let's add a little value. I'm always talking about there's not enough value added. It's just people talking about why deep dish pizza is so good versus any other pizza.
No, you don't share that stance, do you?
I'm biased. It's not. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio. Marion's Pizza is the best pizza. But when you live in Chicago for years, you absolutely become a big fan of deep dish versus the New York pizza. And I get it. The water's great in both cities, and that's why the pizza's great. And in Vegas, you need to have the special, I don't know what the machinery is called. They have it at Brooklyn. Not Brooklyn. Is it Dom DeMarco's, which is like our best pizza place here in Vegas, that they put the minerals back into the water. But I digress. How did I get to talking about pizza? What was I saying?
I have no idea, but you rattled me with the deep dish comment because I think deep dish sucks. I was in Chicago last year. My betting partner lives in Chicago. I've been there a few times to meet other business partners. Every single time
I podcast. I just muted. I'm on a podcast live.
There you go. It's okay.
I'm on a podcast right now live. Sorry about that, Rob. I had a distraction. Let me add back unmuted. Apologize. Let me add value. I didn't hear what you had to say. I'm sorry, but I remember what I was talking about. One of the best usage of bonus picks is to protect teasers. So if you go ahead and bomb away on teasers, especially -1 teasers, -1.5 teasers, and then you come back with your bonus, you put $1,000 on Jacksonville, by example. You got 4-1. So, and by the way, I'm sure you're aware of this. Some people might not be. If a book lets you have a bonus bet, it's only worth 50 cents on the dollar. But if you play a big money line or you play like a 3-team parlay at 6-1, it's worth about 75 cents on the dollar. So it is rarely correct. It's never correct if a book allows you to not play a big money line.
Okay. I gathered all that, but I'm still fixated on the deep dish pizza. I don't get it, Steve. It's more like a soup than a pizza. Like there's just too much sauce. It's unnaturally thick for no reason. Like and everyone, Sam Panayotovich is a Chicago based as well, or grew up in Chicago. And he's always like, you got to go to this place. You got to try. Every Chicago person is like, you got to try this place. Don't listen to this person. And then you go and they're all the same. They're all the same. There's no comparison.
They're actually not all the same. I'm going to give you the best deep dish pizza in the world. It's in Monterey, California. I'm doing a query. I don't remember the name of it. They have their own version of deep dish pizza. Oh, Heirloom Pizza Company, downtown Monterey. So what it does is it has the deep dish, but it's all ingredients and veggies and not the doughy casserole-ish pizza that you so despise. And I can see why, because it's just too heavy and the like. So Heirloom Pizza, if it's not like, I thought Gianni's Pizza was really good in Monterey, but Heirloom Pizza is a best bet of all places. Monterey, California, not downtown Chicago. Well, these Midwesterners, they're big boys. That's why, other than Ohio State and Wisconsin that travels 100,000 people for bowl games, I believe the Midwestern teams in the Big Ten do bad in bowl games because it's inevitable. Too much deep dish pizza, all the tight ends, the linebackers, they gain 12 pounds. It's 10 degrees. They all have the flu. And by January, they're just not playing nearly as well. So a team like a Michigan can hang in there with Alabama big time in September. But then come January, Bama has to be favored.
Did you end up getting down on any of the openers today for bowl season?
Oh, sure. But I mean, ask Brad Powers. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's like I'm laying one with Syracuse. I don't even know who they're playing. I'm taking the other guys +5. I mean, I'm just ramming and jamming in bets with, dilly, as I'm looking at the lines moving like crazy. And so you've got your bottom up and your top down. I got to say, there's a debate going on with Captain Jack and everything. And I kind of fall in the Captain Jack category where, what he calls, just following the steam and following information. For 97 out of 100 people, maybe that's too high. For 92 out of 100 people, it is much the better way to go.
It is, but here, at Bet Bash this year, Steve, I did the speed networking event, and I got paired with probably, 80% of the people I got paired with were top-down bettors that have all reached issues with scaling. And all the questions to me were like, this is what I do. I'm betting top down. I no longer can do this at scale. And I think more and more people are just inevitably coming to this point or reaching this point where I actually think that at some point there has to be a swing in the pendulum back the other way where you start to get more originators, because everyone can pick off all that easy money, but now people are trying to do it for a living, grow, scale, and they're like, it's so hard to do this. No shops want to give me bets on these games as we get the first down here, Steve. That's big.
I agree with you. However, 96% of the people are still betting $300 or less. And given that, there's absolutely no reason to be banging their head up against the wall and spend all this time modeling everything when there's easy money to be had, just, taking advantage of, literally think about how hard you have to work to find one bet. You should be able to get like 10 bets a day, top down, doing, smoking dope all day, and we're basically doing nothing, can't name a player. And then you're right, when you get to be betting 5,000 a game and 10,000 a game, then it really helps to be, bottom up. And certainly it helps in cases like if you're actively handicapping, if you're using top down and bottom up, it's a wonderful thing, because all of a sudden, you're listening to, the tailgate tent, and he says, set up this game. And what the likely right side is on all sides. So if he says, set up a game, and you're like, yep, that was already on my list as a strong lean, we're not waiting. We're going, go, and going with, with your friends on a conference call. And frankly, it's something certainly that I'll do. And every now and then we'll get one wrong, but I got to tell you, we don't get many games wrong, with our expertise. Where Right Angle, for instance, would say play over and say, no, we like over also. And then we fire and he says cancel or oppo. Right. Does not happen hardly at all.
Right. Well, I do have to thank you, because the rivalry between Blue Horseshoe and Hit the Books this year did help with our business a little bit as well. I think
I don't know, my friend. I don't know.
There you go. You got it. We probably have that queued up somewhere, producer Zach. But yes, it did help.
My friend. I don't know, my friend.
Too good, man. Too good. Got a question here I want to run by you. It's about the Circa Millions. How much is game theory increasing or decreasing as the year goes on for pick selection? And have you profiled your competitors' tendencies? And you don't have, obviously you don't have to give away the bells and whistles, but just a general comment.
Sure. And I've certainly looked at who's in the top 20 and who, all things being equal, would be the guy I'd be the most worried about. But what people forget is that having an extra game, there's only 25 games left. All right. So if one guy is picking 5%, one guy's picking 50%, and he has a 1-game lead, then they'll pick him to finish, who's going to finish higher.
Right.
So you can have the strongest player in the world against, someone dart throwing. If you get a 1-game lead, it's pick them whether or not they're going to win. But the problem is there's so many dart throwers that it becomes extremely difficult, because inevitably someone's going to come from behind, just from random happenstance. Now, this is a weird year, because to be in contention, you got to be 20 games above 500. So that's kind of weeded out most of the folks that really, don't have a pretty good competence and at least, some good idea of what they're doing year to date. So that's a unique animal aspect to this year.
All right. We got the Jags in the red zone here after completion to the 15. So hopefully we can get one in here before the end of the third quarter. I have a bone to pick with you. Not a big one.
Get in line, buddy.
I do my research as I have to when I host things. And today you made an appearance on VSiN. And you came on. You're praising Hitman for a little bit, but then you pointed out the fact that he's like 1-12 in his picks on forward progress. You basically praised him, and then you threw him under the bus in the same sentence. What are we doing here?
No, Hitman, I believe, is documented 23-14 on his leans. And in fact, he has a tremendous record in leans. So clearly what you should just do is bet the Hitman leans. And of course, just ignore the best bets, and you're making tons of money. And I would market that. I would hype that, as being, well over 60% on leans. And he's done a fantastic job.
He's actually better than that And the reason why is our producer for that show, Jason. If we talk about the game and he gives it as his best bet, he counts it in the leans record as well. So his record is actually better on the leans than we are publicizing right now. But yes, I think this week we might do something where we actually just spin a wheel for his best. We might like get all of Hitman's leans, put them on a wheel and spin them and give him that as the best bet.
You know, people are going to get upset, but I'm going to call it the way it is. And you know what? If you interviewed 10 guys that were like managing some of the biggest betting syndicates in the world, they would tell you it was a different world back in the year 2000. I'll use an example. Nick Bogdanovich and I had a contest. Beat Bogdanovich. We both put up 25 grand, and Jimmy Vaccaro helped back Nick, and they were looking for a sucker to play against them, and they chose me. So we went head to head, and bottom line, we would give out a pick, and every pick we gave out would literally move 2 points within a minute of what we gave out on Friday night, because the lines would just stay out there, and the lines would move big time Saturday and even Sunday. It's a different world, man. Everyone is looking for value. It's like if there's anything that's clearly off, I mean, look at the weather. Already bad weather in Chicago, Cleveland, Baltimore, New York Jets, boom, all those totals get hit before the weather report is even finalized. You got to be in front of all this or it's going to be too late. And if you're doing your homework and you're listening to the smartest people in the world, like Suma, one of the smartest guys at this, but if you think you're going to win playing his picks and laying minus $1.20, you're just delusional. Absolutely delusional. It's too hard. None of these guys are going to be able to hit 55%. That's why when everyone, I understand the idea back in 2005 saying, hey, I'm giving out minus 10. It's good to minus 11. I would go as far to like almost every one of my picks I give out. Maybe I'm just not as smart as anybody else, but I'll give it out and I'll say, we're going to take this game -2 and it's good to -2. Even when you give up anything, it's really getting difficult to win.
Did you just see this catch?
Touchdown.
Okay, we'll see a replay now of whether or not this was actually a catch. It got deflected. I don't know if both feet were down, but this is the break. Fez, if you win the Circa Millions, this is the catch, the break that we got. Oh, I think it's good.
I only see the tail end, obviously. So let me ask you, this is a great question. What is the probability that this game will decide the Circa Millions for me finishing first? Because here's the interesting aspect. If you told me right now, Fez, this is the game, you're going to lose this game, and this is the game that costs you first place, I'd be like, I'm on board with that. Thank you very much. I'll take my tied for second. And that's got much more equity than obviously my current contest, which I think at most you could say would probably be worth like a couple $100,000 at this point.
Yes, but you're the former actuary, and you're asking me to do the probability on the fly here. You're much more suited to figure that out yourself.
It's an enormously complicated question because it's conditional upon I would need to know the profile of the top 50 and how they're going to play. And this is shocking. I would be much less likely to win if the top 50 randomly chose their picks the rest of the way. That sounds ridiculous. Yeah. Because if they randomly choose it, all of a sudden one of them out of the blue is going to hit, 67%.
Yes.
And it's going to put an onus on me to do so as we're going to hit 64% or 62% to win.
And there's also some profiling that I'm not saying you do or you don't do, but technically you can, as a competitor, profile your competitors and like their tendencies, what they tend to pick, how they're going to pick. If it's random, that completely throws a wrench in that as well. And that can affect your strategy going forward.
And do you have the balls big enough to be in fourth place and be staring at $250,000 to say, I'm going to profile the number one guy and go
opposite
and try to win? And then, as they said, you're too young for this, the newlywed game, right.
I remember it. Yeah.
Get it right. You win. Miss it. You go home in fourth place. The 25-point question. The week 18. And by the way, week 18 is going to have the biggest line moves.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be games inevitably. They're going to run from -8 to -11. So now do you just leave the -8 off your card? Do you take +8 on a game that's 11? you need balls of stone to do that, trying to catch up. And I'm not even sure with chasing. It's only $1 million first place. It's like, 350,000 fourth place. You're giving up too much equity probably.
So I'm actually in a very similar situation to you, but on the opposite end of the spectrum. So I have 5 Circa Millions entries this year. I work with a betting group of 4 people. We each take our own entry, and the 5th one is like a consensus. We get on a call, we kind of talk our way through it. The 4 entries, individual entries from the beginning of the year, were doing very well, and they still are. There's a couple in the money, there's a couple short, but they're doing well. That 5th entry by like week 5 or 6 was a disaster. It was, so we're like, okay, we got to pivot this to go in for the 100K last place prize. And we have, and we're 2 points out of the 100K last place prize. Now it's not $1 million first, whatever, but it's actually been very fun to like profile the guy who's in last, the people who are down at the bottom. Obviously it's very easy to do, like figure out what a lot of them are going to do and take like the least valuable lines. But we're still in the mix there. And that has been like a really interesting, are you familiar with the guy that ended up winning that prize a couple years ago, the Booby Prize?
Yeah, I actually, Joe Pita, Trading Bases, excellent book. I strongly disagree with him. I think people tend to give up too quickly because they ignore all these quarterly prizes. And if they want to show me a Monte Carlo simulation where they hit 54% and they have a better chance to win the Booby Prize because you only get one kick at the can.
Yep.
With these quarterly prizes, especially, if you start doing it week 3, you're giving up. I mean, the prize pool on the quarterlies is way, way bigger than the Booby Prize. Now I get it. You've got a big leg up on the competition if you start, but if you start out like 6 and 14, I don't think it's good. And I think if you start out, 2 and 13, okay, fine. Yeah. But I think you better be in the bottom 5 before you start going full Booby.
I think we were, I don't know, bottom 5, but I would say when we started going full Booby, I believe we were 1.5 points out of last, and that was either 6 or 7 weeks into the season.
And you're chasing a title, if you will. Maybe not the best.
I don't care. I don't care about that. Like at the end of the day, I don't care. And you can very clearly see the point where we pivot because a lot of those picks were actually opposite of the picks from our first 4 entries.
Double
Bengals
pass.
running a trick play. Yes, Fezzik, let's go. That was brain damage from Jamar Chase.
Like, I hope Chase, there's never some kind of investigation that he's throwing this game for his sake, because that is the worst interception. Well, apologies to Mac Jones against the Giants, which was the worst I'd ever seen. But that literally was like, what? He threw it right to him. It's crazy.
I want to watch a replay again, but it seemed to me like he actually knew that it wasn't there and didn't know what to do. Like it seemed like a pure panic move where he's like, I don't have this. And then all of a sudden, like
the greatest panic job ever. I'm old. There was the TV show Happy Days. Yeah. And Ralph Mouth runs over Fonzie's motorcycle. All right. And the motorcycle gets obliterated. And they're asking him, and Fonzie doesn't know who did it yet. And they're asking Ralph, he confesses to Richie. He's like, what were you thinking? And he's like, it was an accident. And Richie says, Ralph, they found a picture of one of the parts in the mailbox. And Ralph said, I panicked. I couldn't, it got stuck underneath my car. I kept going forward and backward. Then I thought maybe I could just mail the evidence away. Panic.
That's too good. That's too good. That was, I have to correct myself, as the chat has, as they always do, is Tyler Boyd that made that pass. But yes, that was disastrous. And we got 2nd and goal now for the Jags here. Hopefully they punch it in.
Why didn't we bet the Jags on the money line minus $1.15? Gosh,
this is why I asked you, Steve. This is why I asked you. I wanted to get your opinion. Whatever. I honestly don't think it was a great price at the time, but I wanted to see where you stood on that one when I asked. So it is what it is. I did end up cashing a bet that I didn't even realize I cashed here, which I gave out at halftime, by the way, people, before we go. But I bet Jags over 6.5 third quarter at minus 155, which I thought was a pretty reasonable price for them getting the ball first. So
what's the defense go offsides on the extra point and then go for 2? There you
Well,
go.
I'm more curious here. What happens if they don't? This is 2 down territory, right? Third and goal from the 1. They're gonna go twice.
Unless, especially because they now have 6 inches to go. And
Exactly.
so, I get a kick out of just as far as the valuations, because I hear this debated all the time. And if you take a knee as Jacksonville, it's like scoring 1.5. All right.
Yes,
So
exactly.
because you stick Cincy on the 1, at least 1.5. That's conservative inside the 1. You kick a field goal, you don't get 3, you get 1.5 because the net difference. The other team starts on their 25. You get a touchdown, you get 7. The net difference is 5.5. So you're really risking 1.5 to get 5.5. So if you make it like 1/4 of the time, it's still the right thing to do. And yet there will be people if they touchdown. And by the way, that's really great play. That's a high IQ play, and it amazes me. Players don't realize this. On 4th down, you absolutely reach the ball to the pylon. You reach the ball over the goal line, but you don't do that on 2nd down or 1st down.
Exactly. This used to be the Drew Brees play. He kind of made it famous at the goal line. He used to go up with 2 hands and reach it over. But exactly that, Steve. You have to do it on 4th down where the fumble, it's your final play. The fumble doesn't really matter at that point. And he got it across the line. Very, as you said, high IQ play.
By the way, Rob, I'm concerned that I'm not concerned, but people ask me, what's my number 1 goal in all my bets? I would say to beat the no vig number at post, because you hear all the time, let me beat the number at post. But there's a difference between beating the number and beating the no vig number. Example, you've got 2 baseball. Let's assume you got 2 equal baseball teams and they're both minus 105. All right. And you bet team A minus 105 and team A closes minus 108. And you say, I beat the closing number by 3 cents. I have a profitable wager. It's simply not true. Because if the baseball team closes minus 108 and the other guys close minus 102, well, then the no vig is like minus 103 plus 103. And if you're laying 105, you got 2 cents the worst, even though you got 3 cents better than the close. So you really need to look at what the no vigorish closing number would be. It's obviously easier when you do a money line and compare that to what you actually got. By example, I played the Boston Celtics minus 185 and I got my teeth kicked in for a closing number and I lost. I don't know if you're an NBA guy. I'm certainly not this time of year. I'm a playoff guy, but I hate to overreact to one game, but I see the Celtics game go way, way under and makes me feel, hey, maybe these teams are taking this a little more seriously and maybe unders are the way to go in the NBA play-in tournament. I don't know if that's even on your radar screen.
So it's not. So I bet NBA, but I don't originate NBA. It comes through another source. And in exchange, they get like some NHL and NFL stuff. And that's just kind of the way it works. So I'm kind of in tune with the NBA. But I personally, Steve, I just never had success modeling the NBA, at least not from a sides perspective. Totals I thought were beatable. And I did okay there, like nothing crazy. But I never beat NBA sides. I'm not scared to admit it. I tried really hard for years. And I just didn't have success. So for me, it's like, why do I continue to focus on this sport where I'm not having success? Other people are doing it better than me. Stick to what I'm good at type of thing.
I'll say the Hitman is spot on with his analysis of like a sharp 5th grader beats NBA props, player props. Yep. As Lily says from AT&T, it's not complicated, people. Whereas in the NFL, it has become enormously complicated because the second, we get midweek and boom, here comes ETR with their, firing away against these openers and FanDuel and DraftKings murdering the market, and they run. And then the bottom line is, are they going to win? Yes. Are they going to win much playing those numbers? No. Compare and contrast that to the NBA, where literally half the Denver Nugget team can be out, and Reggie Jackson, you can play over 25 and he gets 57 points, rebounds, and assists. I know I'm picking out, an outlier, right. But the point is that I don't know of anyone. If someone out there is like specializing in and people are like, well, Fezzik, why don't you do that? Well, I live in Las Vegas, so I really don't have a whole lot of places to take the action. I know people could say, well, you can just work with people, and it's hard. All right. But the bottom line is that if you're on the East Coast, if you're smart enough to beat NBA sides or totals, then you're printing money betting NBA props. I mean, if you're not betting, huge, if you're betting 500 to 1,000 a game, you should absolutely just be betting that. I've got a friend, Leon, one of the sharpest guys that I knew, growing up. He still sends me, NFL sides and totals, and I'm screaming at him. I'm like, because he doesn't bet big anymore. And I'm like, why aren't you focusing in on props? That's where you should be going. If you're losing playing props in the NBA, I don't believe you. You're just not working hard enough. Stop following college basketball. Stop following the NFL and college football. Just focus on the NBA. I assure you, I'm certain you'll win.
If only Hitman can apply that same level of analysis to his best bets on a weekly basis. If only he could do that.
Well, it's like playing against the 9 best poker players in the world. You can be a damn good poker player and you can lose 10 out of 11 sessions. You know why? Because you're playing NFL sides. And so at best, you're trying to find a 53.5% bet. And that's why it's not okay to lay an extra 10 to 20 cents on those bets, because you and I know you don't believe it. You know why? Because I could bet you, will you guys win?
Well, Steve, I'll tell you why I believe it. If you want to book my NFL action on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you are welcome to do that. If you want to make that,
no, I want to book it with an extra 10 cents attached. Yes, sir. You let me know.
Right, but I would play it to that number. Now, like I'm conscious of getting the best number. And
Great, play it against me. Done deal. Let's do it. 1,000 a game. Let me know.
But to my point, to the point, Steve, is that I mean, a lot of times, and this happens, I'm not like, this is not me patting myself on the back or being arrogant about it or whatever, but I will give out, as soon as I go on and give out my best bet sometimes, or Suma does, or whoever, sometimes Hitman as well, the market's going to steam immediately off that best bet. I'm saying what my fair value is on the game and what I would play it to. The reality is, if I hadn't bet that when I had given it out, I would play it up to the number that I played it. I actually would do that. But I don't, like, that's a last resort for me. I'm always going to,
I feel confident you'll hit 52 to 54% on your plays midweek that you give out, and you'll win, Pinnacle laying your minus 106, and you'll lose laying $1.16. Now, I could be wrong, and obviously it would take a data sample size until, we're old and gray to really resolve that. But I think the mere fact that Hitman, one of the sharpest guys in the world, can go 1-10, basically speaks volumes to, I think we're being a little bit naive saying we can hit 55%.
But anyone can go 1-10, 1-11 over that sample. The best bettors, like there's someone in the chat on a weekly basis that I know with certainty is a very big NFL bettor. And if I was just to track like the leans that he gave out over the course, or like his opinions in the chat over the course of the year, they're probably down, but it's like a small sample. It's a couple of games a week. It can happen.
I'll give you a big sample then. Look no further than the VEASAN Invitational. I think they did an excellent job, where I would say they have 16 people and 4 provisional people. So they got 20 people. And I'd say 17 of the 20 are absolutely qualified. I think they'll win in their own betting.
Do you actually think that? I don't want to drag people through the mud, but I've seen the 20 people that are there, and like 17 out of 20 being absolutely like, I would book 15 out of those 20 people in a heartbeat.
Oh, I think, I mean, maybe the answer lies between our two numbers, okay. But I mean, you've got guys. I mean, you want to book Chris Barafalika. You want to book Chuck Adele. He's the last place finisher. And I can tell you, all these guys are like winning sports bettors. It's just really hard to win at any appreciable rate, and especially against Friday, against the world's sharpest line in Circa. That's a big part of it. If another sports book sponsored this contest, if it was sponsored by Treasure Island, all those records would be a whole lot better.
Fair enough. We can agree. You're probably right. The number lies somewhere in between there, as I just had a panic attack while Jacksonville was recovering that punt, which they got.
Oh my God.
Thankfully, they got it back. But yes. It's ultimately challenging, but we come from a different schools of thought, I think, and that's fair. I've never been one to say like, this is the way. I obviously believe in the things that I do, but I don't dismiss what other people think. I think Wednesday to like Friday lines, at least for me, and I've worked with Suma for years on NFL as well. We don't bet early in the week. We don't bet Sunday night openers. We don't bet Monday. The 90% of our action is Wednesday to Friday. I know what our ROI is. I know what our closing line value is. The numbers still move quite a bit between then and Sunday, and we've had success doing that. And I don't think that everyone in the world is going to do that. You seem to be very fixated on like once the early money comes in, that's kind of the market, and that's what the market should be. And I just have a fundamental disagreement with that.
Well, let me address, because you bring up a good point, that it's not that you can't win a lot of money betting on Wednesday or Thursday. It's just I'm chasing information. I'm chasing practice reports. I'm chasing sharp market moves. I'm chasing head fakes. A static one point in time is what makes it so difficult. But I might add, it's so much easier to win on a Sunday against the openers than against a Wednesday. And you're saying, well, you said something that I really think is troubling. Okay. If I was working as a betting syndicate with you and you're part of my betting syndicate, I'd be like, you said, I win on Wednesday through Friday, so it works for me. That it's almost like saying, I have a restaurant and we serve hamburgers and hot dogs and we make money, so we're not going to serve ribs. And I understand specializing, but I refuse to believe you're eating, breathing, doing all this, Rob. The idea that you can't beat openers on Sunday, you're missing out on so many good bets. I would say I need you to do it for a year and then come back and say, Fez, I'm just so exhausted. I don't want to do this anymore, or I just didn't do that well. But for you to dismiss it and say, I don't want to bother with that.
It's not that. So like Pinnacle has $3,000 openers on Sunday night. I do a show while Pinnacle's opening numbers. I could bet $3K a pop there. If I wanted to get Circa on top of that, Chris, whatever, I could easily get down, $10K if I wanted to on a Sunday night. But I work with 4 people. And again, candidly, the bet size it needs to be a certain amount for it to be valuable for us. But we've been betting together.
I disagree. So why wouldn't you bet San Francisco a pick 'em against the Eagles? Who cares if it's divided by 4? Who cares if you played at Treasure Island and you get a crummy $1,000? Do you think that's going to impact the market at all? Why not? I mean, it still spends.
So 2 reasons. One, I don't know why this is the case, but we had a large sample, been working with the same people for years, and we actually have a higher ROI betting midweek than we do early week. And for me, what I pride I'm just speaking the truth here. It could sound egotistical or whatever, but I believe I'm very good at pricing games as I get more perfect information, basically. Maybe not to the level, I cannot beat Sunday morning NFL, Pinnacle, Chris, Circa. I can't. 100K limits. I'm not going to. I don't bet into that market. But there's a comfort zone for me earlier in the week where I think that with the information that I can gain on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, relative to what's available early in the week, I'm better off waiting. And that's reflected in our numbers for years. We have a large sample of betting Mondays, getting very, solid CLV, but not that much different than we do later in the week where our results aren't that as good. And those are smaller bets. And we're moving the market to do that as well. So
I guess what I'm going to say is the market going to move anyways? So, I mean, if you wanted to play, like I said, if you wanted to play Chicago under, if you wanted to play Baltimore under, the Jets under, or Cleveland under, well, now you're screwed because you didn't get to it fast enough.
But that's not true. So my opinion is that I could still play Cleveland under. Yes, I'll take it at a worse price if I have to. But if I still feel and I guess that's where the philosophies are different, right? And it's no different than me giving out a best bet on a show where I say it's good to this number. If I think it's good, if my number makes it this, I think it's good to that. So it doesn't dissuade me to take a worse number because it's already moved. And to each their own. Again, that's just my personal opinion on it. Because for me, if I'm going to put in all this effort, and I put in a ton of effort into making numbers, it's not just, and again, don't want to come across and as bashing or anything, but this isn't just a power rating system for me. I have a very sophisticated way of making numbers on games. And if I'm going to put that much effort in, I might as well trust that number at some point.
And it's logical. And certainly my discovery, I'm much more confident in what the number should be by Friday than for Monday. There's a lot more uncertainty. And, maybe I'll throw myself under the bus. I feel like there's too much uncertainty when late in the week. And you said on Sunday, you don't want to go up against those really big limits. And I'll give an example, for instance. So Florida State, I didn't think belonged in the Final Four. All right. And I said, and I actually bet that they wouldn't make the Final Four. And we bet it. We didn't bet it big. And then one of my betting guys, Pastrami, screamed at me. He's like, "We made a terrible bet. Everyone's saying, they're minus 800. Yes. Plus 500. No, right now." I think that was the FanDuel line. because my conclusion was that the committee has to put in Texas because they have to put in Alabama, and because they're going to put in Alabama, they got to put in Texas. They can't put in Alabama and not put in Texas. And that leaves Florida State out. And that's this whole Kmart situation in the NCAA tournament when Cincinnati was a top 3 team and they made them a number 2 seed, not even a top 4 team. Very similar. I think the committee got it right and the like. But at some point I look at the marketplace and the marketplace completely disagreed. But then right before the selection committee comes out, the Florida State odds crater and they go down to like pick 'em. So at that point in time, I don't care, sworn to secrecy and the like. No, it's bullshit. It's Gatorade. The Gatorade's purple, and everyone knows. And it doesn't matter that Gatorade was purple was 8-1. Gatorade at even money is now a good bet because it is predetermined. Everyone knows Florida State's not in, and the Gatorade's purple. So on predetermined bets like that, oftentimes you can throw everything out the window in terms of what you had made it in your own numbers and the like, because somebody knows at that point.
And at that point, maybe the one point in time where Blue Horseshoe and Joey Knish were betting the same thing at the same time. Same thing.
I wasn't personally betting it because I kind of slept in, to be honest. And part of the reason why I'll tell you why I don't make tons of bets Sunday, because I'm a vegetable. I'm live betting nonstop on college football all day long, and now college basketball, and then Sunday. And I'm sleep deprivated. I'm trying my best. And Sunday afternoon rolls around, and I'm getting ready for the Sunday night game. Like, this is very unusual. Normally, I'm jamming in bets throughout the game on Sunday night and playing college basketball, frankly. And you asked me on. Thank you so much for having me on. But I mean, I don't have time. I'm doing too much bet. Wishnev is who people think is a fish, and he's actually super sharp, and he's sending me college basketball bets to be making, and I'm missing them all. And there's only like 5 college basketball games tonight. So it was the perfect night to come on and watch the Jacksonville Jaguars get a pick 6 to steal my bet in the fourth quarter.
Let's hope that happens. Before I let you go, Fez, and you've been very appreciative with your time, I am going to bring in Hitman here so that you'll have the opportunity to apologize to him for slandering his name and the entire Hughes family on VSiN today. Very disrespectful from you, Fez. So you have your opportunity now to let Hitman know, you're sorry.
So once again, I want to compliment you, Hitman, on the your 65% or whatever it is record on your leans. No one is better at this. I hail to you.
There we go.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty fucking good at betting. I'm just gonna say it now.
And the Hitman the other day, I got it. This is a funny story, Rob. So I bet something directionally on prop bets on quarterbacks, and like Pastrami and Hitman just threw me under the bus. Like, Fez is he's just a dino. And my only excuse, and they're right, they're absolutely right, because I took bad numbers and I should have won and I lost, and it was like micro limits, and I'm just a vegetable come Sunday night. That like I'm so tired that I'm not playing my A game. And that's a mistake. The Hitman would never, ever lose on a bet when Mahomes falls on the number like he did in the second half pass yards.
He would not. He's very price sensitive. He's very strong with that stuff. I've known that for years. He doesn't give the AOK numbers like I do, Fez, or Eager as well. He's very diligent in what he's going to play. Appreciate you taking the time, Fez. All the best, honestly, in Circa Millions. My one ask, if you don't want to let me buy a position, which is fine, it's yours. You got good equity now. At least let me take a picture of you with the big check if you win that $1 million. It will just stir up so much with the Seville community if it's Pizzola and Fez cash in you keep all the money. I just want to be a part of the picture. That's all I ask.
I tell you what, I will invite you to the victory dinner. Okay. So you and the Hitman can come on by. I'll probably have it comped, but maybe I'll go to Barry's over at Circa that does a fantastic job. Circa is the best sports book in the world. Love Circa.
Appreciate you, Fezzik. All the best, man. Thank you very much.
Best book in Vegas. Can't speak to the books that are outside the U.S. that don't take my action.
Yep.
Take care, guys.
Absolutely. Take care.
Later,
Steve Fezzik, everyone. And honestly, the beautiful thing about Pinnacle, they operate in the sharp realm, as does Circa. They would have no problem with Fez saying that either, because they have the same business model. Great book. If you're ever down in Nevada, check out.
Let's.
Circa.
Oh, come on.
Okay,
Let's,
where are you at? Where are you at right now? Let's sync up.
I think I'm in front of you. Chase Brown just lost yards.
Okay, but what's your play clock?
33.
Oh, okay. I'm down to 28. I rewinded to get to Fez material. I want you to count your play clock.
I thought we were getting a Chase Brown touchdown. You know.
I know, man. I ended up I have to win 9K on it is what I got down. You might have more.
I got to win like 13 or something.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have bet it if you didn't bring it up to me. So
you know what? I saw him get all those carries at the beginning too. And then they got to the fucking goal line and they gave it to Mixon, man.
What am I
what's your play clock?
38.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pause then. 3, 4, 7. Okay. You're around 30 now?
26.
Okay, perfect. We're close to in sync.
One of my friends that I talked to about Higgins was open. I have some live plays on Higgins. I need like 7 more yards.
I need a 4th down badly here because I need the Jags to win this game in a bad way.
So I bet a gazillion dollars.
Wow. Chase
I bet a gazillion dollars on the Bengals under 7.5 wins. And I have Jacksonville teasers. If they could close out the teasers, my service on sides totals, they go 4-1 this week. One loser, the Cleveland Browns. Go figure. I was teeing you up.
I didn't want to. It's beating a dead horse at this point. I know. Yeah.
But I did bet some Bengals +6 at halftime. And it was
Jags
a good case.
Over.
I think of I do my halftime stuff with another partner of mine.
Yep. And
we're talking about how we like the Bengals.
Oh, great hands catch by Chase there.
He says to me, like, all right, we like the Bengals. All right, so let's take +5.5. And the game was tied. I said to him, are you a fucking idiot? I said, think of the risk. It goes to 5. It goes to 4.5. Who gives a shit? We got to get the 6s. And then the board did get to 6, and we took +6.
Dude, don't even get me started on that. A certain member of the Action Network loves to tell people to scoop up those 2.5s on Sunday night. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand sometimes with these people, man. I'll never get it. Fucking Mixon is back in the game, man. Jeez.
Wait, if I lose his rushing yards under, talk about just like the perfect. Chase Brown has more carries.
No, it's Mixon now. It's Mixon now, but it's been close to 50-50 split for that.
I told someone, I said, this Mixon play, I bet him under 49.5 rush yards. I said, after Brown was getting all the early carries, he was like, oh, what a great bet. I said, watch, it's going to end up just like the Madison one last week.
Dude, that was very close to a touchdown, man. Like, that might have been a touchdown. I don't know if they're challenging. It looked like the ball broke the plane. We'll see now. This 2nd and goal. Oh, they fumbled the snap?
That was the worst sneak ever.
That was brutal. It looked like they fumbled the snap. Now ref's going to come in from a mile away, separate the pile. Of course, the ball's going to be in the end zone. Why wouldn't it be? And they're going to call a touchdown. This is the most... I talked about this on Circles Off this week. Of course, when the ref runs in because he can't see it and he separates the pile, where do you think the ball is going to be, Hitman? You think the guy in the bottom of the pile is just sitting there holding the ball? He's reaching it out.
Who did you tease Jacksonville with? I ended up doing Tennessee.
It was actually a money line parlay with the Cowboys on Thursday night.
Gotcha.
It's a big one. I do have some teasers as well. But yeah, it's the money line parlay that I'm concerned about right now. By the way, I just cashed anytime TD on Jake Browning, by the way. Didn't even realize it because I'm rooting so hard for Jacksonville.
Would that
10-1. 10-1. We're going to need this confirmed. That's what we're going to need. But it's nowhere near the Chase Brown bet. It was a much bigger win on Chase Brown overall. So, but either way, not going to complain. We take it. We take it for the stream, people. We take it for the stream. One of the challenges, just so everyone's aware, I want to be like fully transparent with people. With the prop stuff, sometimes it's easier to get down on some things than it is others. It's not like the apples to like Chase Brown would have been a much more substantial win for me there than Browning anytime touchdown. That's why I was rooting for Chase Brown in that spot. But we're here and we get it. 28-28. Okay,
I always
so
say it's wildly. I can't stand when there will be people like on gambling Twitter that will talk about like the prop guys.
yeah,
Like I know like BA Analytics gets told this by like some like real big syndicate guys. Like, oh, like they look down on them. They're like, oh, you're a prop guy and everything. Like if I wanted to on like, let's say it was like Jake Browning passing yards or Trevor Lawrence passing yards,
right.
an hour before kickoff, like you could get 10 grand on one account,
Yep.
possibly at one book, at
Yep.
one recreational book, as long as you have a clean account. So people always talk about that, like, oh, the props, the poverty and everything. Like,
No,
you could get 5 figures on props, like pretty easily if you're not super price sensitive, you have time, stuff like that.
yeah. Listen, like I know exactly what you're saying. Like people know the larger group that I've worked with for years now or whatever, like local based Canadian guys. But I asked them before about prop stuff or whatever the response is just like honestly, I'm sure we could win a ton, but like we then are just going to have the issue of trying to find spots to get down over and over and over. So like I don't doubt that people can win a ton betting props. It's just a matter of like, okay, you're betting full market NFL sides on game day. You're going to get whatever liquidity you want, and you're not going to get cut anywhere, even if you're winning.
Yeah.
So that's just the difference there.
It comes down to like the difference is like if you're doing sides, totals, and everything, you can just focus all of your time towards handicapping, send out an order to a mover, and you're done. You don't even
Exactly.
Whereas like I'm doing a lot of originating on this stuff. And then it's like, all right, now I got to text 16 people.
Yeah.
I got to run 700 recons on Sunday night at the end of the night with every single person. This guy's stiffing me. It just ends up being a huge pain in the ass. So I totally see that. It's one of those things that like when you're 31, like you could do it. But like I say to everybody, I was like, I don't know how many years I got of this, of communicating with 30 different people in a day. One guy's getting me $500, the other, and just constant back and forth.
When I was, so I'm 36, but when I was 31, I was doing that like not to the same extent, but computer behind the screen every day from like morning until the last game started in Major League Baseball, NHL or whatever. And my personal experience, it does get tiresome. Money's good. And like, it motivates you enough to like keep it going.
Yeah.
But then you just get to a point where you're like, fuck, man, like I need to figure out.
I've kind of gotten to the point that where like, I'm like, all right, NFL for 6 months, I'm going to grind as much as possible. And then I'm going on a ton of vacations.
That's a great way to do it, man.
I'm playing more golf than a guy on the fucking PGA Tour during the off season. Like that's kind of been my mentality right now.
P Don says, we'll look back one day and miss the stiffs, random Venmos, and running around. Maybe. I don't think so. I honestly don't think I will. But for some people,
I have one guy that's stiffing me right now. It's like $5,000 or something. And our belief is that he made up a name of a guy that he says is the guy stiffing me. So it was an agent. He kicked me, but he was like, I got another guy that will take you. And he said his name. He said some name, Avo or whatever. I got stiffed. And now he's telling me, like, well, the guys communicate. I'm not communicating with them. I can't. It's a whole story. Gave me a phone number. I actually called this phone number. An old woman answered. And
So it was probably GRP's mother, actually.
There you go. Well, this person's in California, the number that I called. I searched because you know how on the iPhone it'll tell you like a name sometimes of like the person that you called or whatever. It gave me a name. I searched it. It's like some 70-year-old woman in California. And I said to the guy, like, hey, this number, the guy you stiffened me, like, it's a 70-year-old woman. He was like, well, I don't know. He's like, he would call me from this number. So we have a suspicion that it's this guy. So now we got to get all the threats ready. We know where you work. And we got to do all this bullshit. So, you know, maybe one day we will miss that. But
I certainly won't. And I don't deal with that stuff anymore, which is, I could tell you, when you rid yourself of that in life, it's a beautiful thing. J-Rod wants to know what you're sweating here late in game.
Mixon under 49.5 rushing yards, big. What is he at, 40 or something?
38.
Okay. ETN
we got a bailout. We got a bailout illegal contact here, which is beautiful.
Nice.
Right now.
ETN under 16.5 carries. What does he have? Like 10?
10 on the nose.
I got a good amount of Higgins live over 32.5.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good amount of Ridley under 64.5 live.
Mm-hmm.
Browning completions over 26.5 live. What is he at?
Go up to Jake Browning.
24. That looks good.
Man, look how efficient that line.
15.5. I have Tanner Hudson under that lost. I have Boyd under 30.5. What is he at?
Boyd is under 22.
22. Sweating that.
You're in good shape on a lot of these right now.
I got a lot of unders. Yeah. I got Bengals plus 6. I got my Jags teasers. I have 5 figures on the Bengals under 7.5 wins. The one guy tried to say to me on Twitter, if anybody,
I love that. I love that. You put that guy in his place.
I got under 11.5 minus 145 or whatever. You bet that after I guarantee you bet that after the Burrow. You caught the news, whatever. Like so did I, and everything. I bet that in May at minus 110 on the opener at a book that would take $5,000 on it. I have other tickets, not just that one on it. So listen, here's the moral of the story. You think you got a better price than the Hitman? Nobody gets a better price than the Hitman. Okay? No, not many people do. So
dude, he tried to like big up himself with his minus 147 bet, which you showed a minus 110 at a bigger bet amount. You just basically murdered that guy. You can't like that was, we all witnessed a murder when that happened. What's interesting to me is this game's 28-28. You bet a lot of unders and you're basically like winning everything.
Yeah.
It's really surprising.
Yeah. You know what I wish? You heard Troy Aikman after Chase had like 3 catches. He was like, oh, yeah, Zach Taylor said that they wanted to throw him short passes and make it like an Oklahoma drill. Like, Troy Aikman, why wouldn't you say that? You got interviewed twice in the pregame. They went to you twice from 7 to 8. You don't mention that? Like, that's like, you know how much money that cost me by you not mentioning that?
It's a tough one, man. It's a tough break. We now understand why they call you the Hitman. Just posting tickets, absolutely murdering people. Oh my God. It was like Calvin Ridley just got annihilated, man. Yeah. Jesus, what a hit. Just in the downtime here, Eric Andre asks, what is Seville? Seville is a group of people on Twitter that think they're the gatekeepers of gambling Twitter. If you want some insight into Seville, you're going to want to tune into Circles Off this week, Thursday, 4 p.m. We do have a Seville member that will be on Circles Off this week, Thursday, 4 p.m. That's the tease. That's happening, but you'll want to check that out.
What's the first letter?
C.
No, of the person.
C. Let's just say he's not a big Clay Travis or Jason McIntyre fan.
Text it to me in our private chat.
All right.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
Okay. I think he's
done.
I
won't say anything.
Yeah. So that's
I don't know who that is.
All right, that's good. That's actually good that you don't.
I'm sure he hates me, whoever it is.
I don't think he does. I think he just really has it out for a couple people. Yeah, here we go. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. The cat is out of the bag. They know in the chat already. But
Chat, do me a favor. Do we see any live Travis Etienne lines?
Live Travis Etienne. It's currently, because there was just a fumble in the game that they recovered, but I don't see it posted anywhere right now.
Oh
man. Oh no.
All right, now we got all right, everybody. Let's look for
wow.
Bengals. Let's look for Bengals.
Wow.
Can we get any plus 3.5 on Cincinnati?
Dude. Oh no. Oh, got his right foot stepped on. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that looks awkward, like a knee injury. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. Backup for the Jags is CJ Beathard, by the way. And Lawrence knew as soon as he got up that he's toast.
So anybody, if you have a 3.5, bet it. I'm way behind. I'm screwing up right now.
You just go hammer away, man. Just hammer away. Do your thing. Bengals money line at Pinnacle right now is plus 165. For those that want to know. Man, this sucks though for football. Another quarterback injury. Like, we already don't have enough quarterbacks in the league, and another quarterback injury. I don't see the 3.5s, man. I'm looking. I still don't think I want to take the Bengals, honestly.
We're betting under 63.5. Moved.
There you go. It moved.
I got to be more on top of this.
The Costanza special.
Under 64.5. Nope, suspended. Now you see the mass panic in action.
Oh, it's amazing, man. I think everyone kind of has the same thought when they see injuries.
Yeah. So there's a 62.5 at FanDuel. That's tough. That I don't think you could put, if you could lay extra vig and get a 63.5, which just popped at Caesars.
Okay, so my thoughts are, I actually think that I want to lay minus 165 with the Jags at Pinnacle right now, rather than look for the underdog price on Cincinnati.
Just because
they're gonna take the lead right now, right here. And I know Browning's had an amazing game, but they're gonna be trailing. He's gonna be in a very uncomfortable position. Minus 165. I'm gonna do some quick math here off the top of my head, but 62%. Do the Jags win the game 2/3 of the time? Oh man, he's getting carried to the locker room. I mean, the fact that he couldn't even get up off of his knee, like, is that an Achilles injury? Torn knee ligament?
Is it the MCL?
I don't know my knee ligaments well enough.
But remember, we thought he might have an MCL.
We thought he might have an MCL injury. He got to one knee. He knows at that moment. He knows at that moment.
Somebody made a good point. Texans futures. There's none up, I'm sure. Oh,
they missed the field goal to the right, Hitman. McManus missed it to the right.
Oh, my God.
That changes everything. Everything. Bengals move to minus 170 favorite live. And Lawrence is not there. Now that changes everything.
And where the Bengals get the ball?
They're going to be at their own 38. Oh, man.
Well, this is probably, that might seem cheap.
They still have to drive it to score, but yeah. Yeah, that's...
Well, we'd rather take the Bengals minus 2.5, minus 144.
Yes.
I didn't get anything in.
No, I got nothing going on right now either. This has been like, Browning is 25 of 29 for 307 yards and a touchdown. Lawrence looks like in bad shape there. Bad shape. Wow. Wow.
All right. Well, our teasers lived a good life.
For the time being. Can the Jags defense hold up?
Come on, hold Mixon. Hold Mixon. He's probably going to get another carry.
I mean, any AFC winner bets y'all would like?
I don't know. Jacksonville was probably like the fifth, sixth team.
Jacksonville was a paper tiger in my I know record wise they could have ended up with the 1 seed with their schedule, but that would have just given value on other teams.
You know what I just realized? I have a good amount of money on the under Cleveland Jacksonville next week. It was 37.5. That's probably going to reopen with the weather. Probably closes like 31.
Oh, that's huge. Oh man, Browning, what a run. What a run. Why? I was thinking this myself, shit fit. Can they get the guy a cart? Why? This guy's just hobbling around. Get the guy in a cart and bring him to the back. I don't understand. Oh man. Wow. Browning is also the early numbers on Colts Bengals was 40.5 for that total. That's going up big time.
I think there could be weather in that game.
Yeah, but true. Yeah.
Weather's just everything. I mean, I did get I got a decent amount of Bears Lions under at 44.5. And I was thinking about giving it out on my service. And I'm but if this game, these are two over teams, at least Detroit's a dead nuts over team. I'm if the weather does end up being okay, then this is going to look stupid. Now look, it's 42 right now. I did bet Chicago. I like Chicago quite a bit. Right. I know on your Sunday show, I always say great show. You guys, I think, like Chicago as well.
Yep.
Come on, stop mixing. And then I bet the Denver Chargers under. A few people reached out to me and were like, "Oh, I didn't really expect you to bet that," but it's kind of on the premise. I think if you can stop Keenan Allen, which Surtain can match up with them, they have literally nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's tough. The Chargers offense is just so tough right now, really tough. Of the 80 entries left in Circa Survivor, 24 have the Jags as well. 24 lost with the Steelers yesterday. 24 also have the Jags, which is
we need Mixon to not get 5 more rushing yards.
Yes, which is a problem now with this false start because they're going to be dying to get back into field goal range.
And they were throwing on that play.
Yeah. I don't know yet, Dylan, what the spread's going to be. Cleveland, Jacksonville. There's weather. There's a lot of stuff involved.
Cleveland will be the favorite.
Yeah. CJ Beathard, man, take us to the promised land. Houston is now very live, really. As are the Colts.
Can you stop Joe Mixon? It was such a good bet.
Oh, yeah. Free rush. Let's go. Okay.
And now they're not running.
No, now they're not running. And now the Jags.
I'll tell you what. Jags by 3. Do you know how beneficial to my life that would be?
Dude.
If the Jags win by 3.
Dude, that's all I'm looking for here. That's all I want. Jags
you had an overtime on this stream? Yeah.
I don't pay myself for overtime. I don't pay myself anything, let alone for overtime. You think I'm sticking around for an extra period? We must have had an overtime, Zach. I don't know. Zach, have you had an overtime yet?
All right, let's go.
No, I don't think so.
No,
no
I don't
overtime
know if
yet.
Has there been maybe the people will remember? I can't even remember what I ate for lunch today. You think I'm gonna remember if we had an overtime game this year? Stuff.
I'm trying to think about overtime games.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
They're saying ankle injury, so maybe that's code word for Achilles.
Bills, Jets, week 1.
well, ankle would be fine because that could be a high ankle sprain, and then he's just out like 4 weeks. I mean, he's walking. It's a severe one. It's not like one of those where he's going to be back in a couple weeks, but like a 4 to 6 week, he's back by playoffs. That's not too bad. No OT. Paul says no OT this year. I believe Paul because I think I see him pretty much in a lot of these streams.
No, but Rob, wasn't Bills, Jets week 1 OT?
Oh, Paul, incorrect. Corrects himself. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Game
I was
1.
at that game. I got some really good live bets on Buffalo when Rodgers got hurt at the game. I watched that punt return, and I just stormed out. Well, Boyd just
All right.
went over.
This is a long one.
He's gonna make it.
McPherson, it's a 54-yard attempt. He doinked the 57-yarder, so he has the leg. He's got just enough of a leg to hit this one. I kind of want him to hit it because I want to bet CJ Beathard legacy drive. That's what I'm looking for.
I really don't need over. I don't want overtime because then Mixon will go over. I don't know what. You know what? I have so many bets. I don't know what the hell I want.
Made it.
Oh, just inside. Just inside.
Rob, could you pause yours for 1 second and then
Yep.
do
1
just
second.
1 second?
Okay. We should be good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's so much fun here having you on for the fourth quarter usually because you have the most volume of bets of anyone I know. Okay. What is the live price on this game on the Jags? I mean, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot for wanting to do this. Pinnacle is plus 247. Since he's just getting.
I was going to guess something around that. 1 sec, Rob. I just got my TV's trying to turn off.
Doesn't want you to see the end of this game. Doesn't want you to see the end.
Yeah, or it's the electric bill getting shut off after I lose all this money on these Jags teasers and Bengals win total and everything.
Oh man. So listen, I'm not here to say CJ Beathard is a good quarterback. That's not what I'm implying. But I do like betting quarterbacks when they come in like mid-game. Now, this is towards the end. It's a little bit more challenging. And I'm not quite getting the price that I would like to. So it's probably going to be a pass. Oh, but someone just smashed Jacksonville. Whew. It's getting bet at Pinnacle, down to 224. Getting bet. Someone wants to ride Beathard into the sunset.
Jacksonville could go on a touchdown drive here and win by 3, and Calvin Ridley doesn't get like 30 yards. That would be nice.
Oh, man. CJ Beathard, any number, Knishan, Pizzola. I'll never forget that Thanksgiving hit from his bed until the day I die. Just was really trying to figure out. I see the waiting room. I could see something there, and it was just like black. I'm like, what's going on? Is this guy's camera not working? He types in the private chat like I'm ready to go or whatever. I'm like, okay, bring him in. Dude is laying in his bed.
I'll tell you what, he gave me a really good bet on that Florida State no, so he's on my good list right now.
Yep. That's what I said. Blue Horseshoe also bet that Florida State no. The first time that they ever agreed on anything. First time that they ever.
Steve is he's a
dude.
character.
Did you see McPherson's reaction to this kick? He thought the kick missed. He literally thought it missed and it went in. He's so upset after he kicked that ball.
Looks like one of my golf shots when I thin it and it lands on the green.
Yeah. You know what? It's still depressing though. Like when you thin it and it lands on the green, I still don't like to miss hit no matter what, even when I get a good result.
Yeah. I'm a little under the weather, and my lower back has been really hurting. And I'm supposed to play. I always play by myself, but tomorrow's a rare day. I'm playing with another group of 3 guys, so it's going to be my injury game.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, CJ. Let's see it. Jags by 3. No overtime.
Okay, he's taking off. Oh my God.
You're still ahead of me. So
Okay.
Are they getting it? Thank you.
Okay. Tell me your play clock right now.
37.
Okay. Count out loud.
33, 32, 31, 30, 29.
Okay. We should be good now. We're close to synced now. His knee was down, no?
I thought it was.
Yeah. It was exciting though.
Yeah, that what just happened doesn't give me much optimism about this.
It wasn't down, man. It actually was out before it was down. No, this is Beathard legacy drive. Hitman. Yeah, you never seen a CJ Beathard legacy drive. Now he's holding his left hand when he walks off the field.
Nathan, who's the third stringer? It's not Nathan Rourke, right? He's not on the team no more.
I actually do not believe I look at this stuff before every game. I do not believe Jacksonville has an active third string quarterback tonight.
Nice. That's what you like to hear.
They're technically they would have an emergency quarterback, right? That doesn't count towards their roster. Nathan Rourke is
this is where you go on Twitter and you see during the commercial, Schefter just tweeted, dude, we got to bet. I think we got to bet Cincinnati.
No, Rourke is solid, man. Rourke is solid.
Dude, they don't have a third stringer.
They might not.
I'm betting Cincinnati. I'm seeing if I could get it in. Minus 300. I'm doing it.
I don't want to root against you, man. Don't they have an emergency quarterback where they don't count towards the roster, but they just sit on like Zack Wilson?
They don't have one, I guess.
Oh man.
What a dumbass team. I can't believe I have to bet this shit. Because I really want Jacksonville to win. And I took a bad price too. All right. I bet 6,000 on Cincinnati minus 300.
Do you know how hard I have to root against you right now?
I hope I lose. I swear to God, I hope it loses. But I think like there's minus 260 out there. I mean, like I'm just going off Twitter. I don't know.
I don't want to have to root against you, but I have to root against you.
The guy's grabbing his wrist right now. They literally don't have another quarterback.
You never had wrist issues before and powered through it?
Well, I hope I lose the minus 300. I really do.
If Nathan Rourke comes in, I'm sorry, Hitman. You're dead.
Nathan Rourke's not here, Rob.
I don't know well enough. I don't know well enough on the emergency quarterback rules. Okay, he's back in the game. Beathard. Okay, that's a bad.
Hey, that's not PI.
No, that's not. No, that's
somebody said Hitman always seems so stressed. Well, wouldn't you be stressed if you had 17 player props and 13 live play? Nah, honestly,
dude has 6 figures in play on a bunch of random bets tonight. It's gonna
honestly, like all week, like I probably have like at least 100 bet, like God knows how many bets. And the only one that stressed me all of yesterday was the Browns, where I felt any little bit of stress.
No, not Ingram. Oh, I knew it was going to happen on this drive. Of course. Of course. Thank God for the Browning TD tonight, man. Thank God for the Browning TD. Oh. Ingram's just going to catch a million balls on this drive now, right over the middle of the field, over and over and over.
I want a better touchdown. I'll take it.
It's going to be like Ingram and ETN over and over right now.
All right. Looks like my minus 300 wasn't a great bet.
Don't worry, Hitman. You're going to cash a lot tonight.
That's all I needed on my portfolio that I give out on this network.
Yes.
I needed to give out. I went to a minus 300 and I lost that.
Don't worry. I gave out like a minus 460 in the Super Bowl, told everyone it was an amazing bet, and the fucking kick hit an upright. A field goal hit an upright. Imagine not betting that at minus 460. Yeah. No field goal to hit an upright and go in. Like, absurd.
Yeah.
All right.
Just don't, like, the worst thing that happens to me is Jacksonville kicks a field goal and loses in overtime. Like, that is the disaster.
Yes. How many timeouts do the Jags have? They have one, correct?
One.
They could almost, I don't know. They probably should just keep passing.
Come on. Be aggressive. Get in the end zone.
Oh, that's a bad play. That is a bad play. Because you got to burn the timeout. You got no yards.
That's terrible.
That's terrible. I would call two plays right here if I was the Jags. One of them would be a draw play, which is going to pick up the first down if you spread everyone out. And then you call an immediate pass play, get back into the huddle. That's what I would do. Oh, man. What a game. This turned out to be an amazing game relative to what I thought it was going to be prior. Relative to what I thought it was going to be. I don't want overtime, mainly because I got to take a leak. But I also just don't want overtime, man. Okay, Joe Buck said there's no more quarterbacks dressed or available for Jacksonville. So your premise was correct.
You know what happens? It's like sometimes. Oh, what are you doing? You fucking idiot.
Since he's going to use the timeout.
Fucking overtime. Like, Jesus.
I'm experiencing a large amount of pain at the moment.
What was I saying? A lot of times with like live betting, like you don't have time to think. Like you just go on Twitter and I see two reports that say like Schefter and someone else at the game was like Beathard looks like in pain, grabbing his wrist and everything. I'm just like, all right, I just got to go, you know?
Yeah. Why should Cincy should not have taken timeout? Of course they should have. Absolutely. Jacksonville has no timeouts left. They're going to kick a field goal here. There's going to be time. It's not like you can't take some shots downfield. $40-yard attempt.
I'm going to be so pissed when Mixon goes over and overtime. I'm going to be so pissed. Jesus.
You just, I guess you're hoping Jacksonville gets the ball first and they just go down. Right?
Yeah. And then I got Bengals +6. I'll push on that. Like I'm so nothing can get, everything can't go my way.
Yeah. I'm confused as to why people don't think Cincy should have called a timeout.
No, I guess because they wanted them to like rush the field goal team on.
Dude, there's 28 seconds left in the game.
I'm just trying to make logic out of it.
Jags were scrambled. There's 28 seconds. Teams rush the field goal team on with 10 seconds left to kick sometimes. They 100% should have called a timeout. It's clock preservation at this point. Now, whether or not they want to actually go for it, it can depend on the return or whatever here. But Jacksonville can't stop the clock anymore. It's like it's a no-brainer to call a timeout.
What's the live lines right now?
Bengals minus 122, Jags plus 105 at Pinnacle.
I mean, I feel like this should be Beathard versus Browning right now, like in overtime. Like it's probably like a coin flip, you know?
That's what I was going to say.
And
like
now you're getting McPherson, who can hit from 58.
No,
You might
he can
get
hit from
chance,
56.
like,
he can hit from 56, but not 57 because he doinked the crossbar on 57 earlier.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm probably not. I'm not getting involved with more, but I would bet Cincinnati.
You would you? You would. Oh man, what an epic game. And we'll get to be live on air with Hitman as he loses all his prop unders in overtime. I'm not rooting for that. Oh, man. Oh, no. What are we doing here? They hand to Mixon. And, of course, oh, my God, man. That's why you call the timeout, first and foremost, by the way. Second of all, just absolutely ridiculous.
Dude, did you see that he got the carry at the end of the first half, too? They ran like a 6-yard draw. Oh, my God.
Honestly, if you're Cincy, what you do right now is you take a shot like 25 yards down the middle of the field and then run up and spike the ball. Because Jacksonville is going to play this defense where they prevent anything on the sidelines. They put time back on the clock to bring it up to 20. They're going to do something stupid like throw short for like 5 yards out of bounds, but they should attack the middle of the field and run up to call a timeout. Oh, what a waste of time. Oh my God, how did he get out of bounds? How did he? Oh my God. Dude, how did he get out of bounds?
I'm still tilted about the Mixon play. I just like blacked out for a sec.
How did he get out of bounds? Fezzik, I like your positivity, man. Jacksonville can win by 9 in OT. They get the ball first, they kick a field goal, and then fumble 6 or pick 6. His career long's 59 yards. So they'd have to get to roughly the 42, 41.
Oh, wow. Great decision, Browning.
Oh my God. This is just brain dead, man. Brain dead stuff. End of regulation.
I just got Jacksonville plus 110 at
trying to hedge some bets.
Plus 135. Also, how are they plus 135?
No, that's a great bet. Great bet. Plus 135 is a great bet.
I just bet that.
It's like we don't know who's going to get the ball first here, but including the way that
I got. Yeah. All right. So I got myself not off of all of it, but I got myself a decent amount of Jacksonville plus 110. It's a coin flip. I'm getting plus 110 on a coin flip.
Right now, it's a coin flip as to whether or not I'm going to.
Yeah. If anybody has plus money on Jacksonville, it's a coin flip bet, and you're getting plus money, in my opinion.
Overtime line at Pinnacle is Bengals minus 116, Jags plus minus 101. Okay, coin toss happening. I'm going to take a leak. Zach, you got to step up and in really quickly here. Keep the train rolling.
Yeah,
Let's
I got
see who
it.
gets this ball first.
Hey man, I was kind of wondering this. This is a good comment. It said Devs said, feel like Hitman has 30 bets against each other and makes $6 after the game.
Maybe this one. Maybe this one.
I was gonna ask, like, how do you go about managing all that, especially while you're going in real time, reacting like you are? But
Yeah, I mean, you know, when volumes usually, when you have a lot of outs, volume's your friend. You know, like some of the like the prices that you could get, you just end up with a lot of volume on this stuff. So, and
you
who's
say
getting the
you've
ball?
Cornered the
Who's
Monday
getting the
Night
ball?
Football market.
Jacksonville's game. Somebody said they're like, I feel like Hitman has like 40 bets all against each other and makes $6.
Oh, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Let me get a tweet out here. See if we could get some more people in the stream in real time.
Also, quickly, J-Rod said, Zach, do you want to bring up that DK tweet now? I could never find it. I looked forever, could not find it. So,
Which
sorry
DK tweet?
Sorry, J-Rod. There was a Fezzik DK tweet, and he asked me when Fezzik first got on. I never found it. I looked for a while. So, apologies, but yeah, that's why it didn't come up. Also, 288 people watching right now, 256 likes.
Oh, that's honestly way better than I expected. We've done a good job tonight. I think we got the Fezzik boost. We got the Fezzik boost tonight. The old Fezzik odds boost, where the likes boost.
The Fezzik odds boost.
Oh man, definitely. Yeah. Where's DJN? There was no hand wash. I'm not going to deny. I'm not going to pretend like I did. I tried to rush back. I'm a man of the people.
You know what? Listen, we had the mixing catastrophe. It's over. It's done with. I lost my God knows how much money. All I know is just let Jacksonville win by 3 or 6. I won't be thrilled with, but whatever. Let him win by 3, and we can make up a little bit for what happened.
So ranking the outcomes best to worst is Jacksonville by 3, then Jacksonville by 6, and then what? Cincy by 3?
No, Cincy's suicide. That's what we do. So,
but don't you have the Cincy minus 300 from earlier when Bethard got hurt?
I bet 6,000 on Cincy minus 3 or Cincy money line, and then I bet 4,000 on the plus 135 on Jacksonville.
Got it. Okay,
so
we don't want suicide. We preach responsible gaming here on Forward Progress. But you know, bet responsibly, of course, as always.
RW fan said, "How many outs do you have, Hitman?" Not enough. So if you got some more, hit me up.
Yeah. If you're not down with Hitman, you can send them my way too. They're always appreciated. They're always appreciated. We've got a 3rd and 6 incoming here.
Instant 3rd and 6.
I
did not get in. I didn't get in under 64.5 for whoever said that. I actually tried to, but it just, you know how live betting is.
Pray for the tie.
Yeah.
Don't worry, man. Listen, in Bethard, I trust. This guy comes in mid-game. This is what QBs do, man. They come in mid-game. They do their jobs. Big 3rd and 6. Come on, CJ. Come on, CJ.
Wide
oh
open.
Yeah, let's go. Ingram's gonna catch 1,000,000 balls by the end of this game. This is gonna be like gonna be the worst bet I ever made in my life, but it is what it is.
Is he gonna go over?
Oh, he's over already.
Oh, okay.
What's his line? 8 for 80 right now. 8 for 80. For those that don't know, in the chat, me and Hitman are going to be slightly behind all of you. One of the reasons is I had to pause my stream, which is a real-time, very close to real-time stream, to accommodate this peasant Hitman.
Let's talk about this Fezzik comment.
Wow, what a run.
That big endorsement there.
Which one? Let the Hitman bet for you? You will make money?
There you go.
Well, He did slander. It was approximately like 5 hours ago where he was on VSiN just slandering your name, that of your
I didn't hear what he
family.
said, but TA was like, he was talking about how much of a winning better Hitman is, and then brought up that he's 1-11 on forward progress. So he had something positive to say, at least. How many carries is ETN at? I know you always have this up, Rob.
11
Okay.
carries.
Okay.
Dearness Johnson's in the game right, and he just got obliterated in the backfield.
I know Chosen's talking about the props. I'm telling you what, listen, winning gets you banned and limited at these places. If you get CLV on a college basketball game, you're just as likely to get limited from getting CLV on props. NFL might be a little different, a little bit longer leash, but you're also going to be hoping for a 2% ROI or something. Like, some people do that. Some people churn and burn. And
churn and burn. Is that a dig at Adam Chernoff right there?
I love Adam Chernoff.
I'm going to start calling him churn and burn now and say that you told me to do it. 3rd and 7 incoming, Hitman. This, to me, is you're on the other side of the field. You got to go for it in these situations. So figure out a play that's going to get you like 4 or 5 yards at minimum here, and you go from there.
Come on. Let's get it, CJ.
Figure out a play where you can draw a pass interference penalty. How about that?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Go deep.
What is this?
Not Ridley.
Wow. But this is going to be a penalty, right? Like, that was definitely a hold. Oh, this is going to come
I needed to. I need that penalty.
I would like to see another play. That's Harrison, who they drafted this year at tackle. But in real time, it definitely looked like a hold. Oh, man. Because as soon as he escaped to his right, oh, man, that's a bad call.
I think it was a good call.
Yeah. In real time, I thought so. On replay, it does not look like he holds when he gets. Oh, man. Now they're going to run like some stupid screen pass and try to get a bunch of yards.
Win the game on defense.
Wow. Pick 6 for the win.
We didn't talk about what Ty does. Ty, the Cincinnati under 7.5 wins with the tie. It helps that. So
hey, Ty, I don't lose the money line parlay.
There you go.
Ty, I don't lose the money line parlay. It would kill the survivor entries. Anyone who bet teasers would lose. That was rough. That was rough to watch. Yeah, Fezzik knows. Fez knows. Wow, they end up getting good field position out of that.
Yeah, that's depressing.
That is. Wanted them backed up there. Oh, man. All right, time to sweat. Ty can be fine. Ty can be fine. I'm just Mixon's toast for you now, isn't he? Is he not? Or is it you need less attempts?
I have under 14.5 attempts. What does he have?
So 14 going into this play.
Yeah. All right. That's nice.
I don't know why I find your reaction so funny. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh my God, man. Oh, do we get a defensive touchdown? Is that too much to ask? Why does Jake Browning look like Dan Marino tonight? That's what I need to know.
He caught that.
Oh my God. What video is this? This is made up. I never say teams have no chance. Fake news. I might have made an argument for Jacksonville, but I never would have said no chance. Never would have said no chance. Oh man. Wow, we're pretty much like exactly in sync right now. I can hear like a small echo from your commentary.
You want me to mute that?
Just turn it down a bit, just in case YouTube says like, we
It
can't have
should
them
be fine,
demonetized.
Hitman. It should be fine.
It should be
We're good.
okay.
We're good.
Yeah,
Should be okay.
I just don't want to get our videos demonetized because then I have to let Moretto go. I feel bad about that.
No, we have to pay for it with his winnings from tonight.
Oh yeah, he won the locker contest. What a fucking guy. Unbelievable, man. Now people think it's fixed. Way to go, Moretto. Way to go. Gonna hit the blend right now. It's the only way to get through the rest. Running low there.
Oh, what a call.
It was the right call, but it took too long to develop. You know what I'm
The
saying?
fact that he just lofted it into the air like that.
He couldn't do anything though. All right. Big third down. Big third down. Dude, I watched Cleveland and Pittsburgh in full this week. I don't even know who this quarterback is that I'm watching. Like, I have no idea.
I know everything last week, everything was at the line of scrimmage with him. And it was kind of at the start of this game, it was the same.
T. Higgins helps. I'll tell you that.
What does that put Higgins at? Yardage.
36.
All right.
36. You alive there?
Yeah, I won that. I was going to give it out. I swear to God, at the end of the third quarter, I was waiting to get brought in. Of course, I mentioned it now. I wouldn't have mentioned it if it lost. I was going to say official live play, T. Higgins over. So Fezzik running long costs the stream a lot of money.
Well, blame Fezzik. That's Chase Brown in the backfield right now.
Yeah, touchdown here makes up for everything.
Honestly, it wouldn't even put a dent in the loss on Jags. Well, it would put a dent in it, but yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Big time sweat. He can kick it from here. He can hit it from here. They really just need a few more yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Browning, I don't know. Oh, that's a big run from
That
Chase.
corner playing that far off when they've been running that all game and you're playing that far off.
It's embarrassing, man. That's embarrassing. Who the fuck is that corner? Who was that?
All right, well, that's game. We could turn the stream off. McPherson's not missing.
I love when people say stuff like that. Oh man. I love when that is said. Since he's calling timeout. What are they reviewing this? Oh man. I was also going to give out Yes OT plus 1600, but then Fezzik joined me on the stream and I couldn't get it out. But that was going to be a play today.
If you got any other plus 1600 winners for Wednesdays, let me know.
No, the RW fan, this is not how we do it, all right? This is not how we do it.
You know what's funny? The funny thing is I'm having one of my better seasons on sides and totals this year. Like, it's unbelievable that. And one of the things is like those leans. A lot of the times, and Rob, I think you see some of my bets I make during the week and everything that I send out. Those leans are bets that I made already.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And
What are you gonna do, man?
somehow just every single time. But you know what? It's better that I go 1-16 and go like 4-13 or whatever. Now we're just rooting for the 1-16.
I agree. And then it's very likely that you get comeback better of the year next year as well.
I still have a chance to catch Suma. Suma loves, I think his was Jacksonville this week, right?
It was Jacksonville this week. Yeah.
I mean, Suma, he loves me right now.
Yeah.
Taking it
Oh,
all off him.
Oh yeah. The pressure is mounting on a weekly basis, man, for these guys. Pressure's mounting. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've had a good record, but I lost last week and I don't want to lose like multiple weeks. It's tough. There is a real truth to it. Like people think it's BS, but I sweat the picks I give out way, way more than just like bets that I don't talk about.
I sweat my service stuff a lot, a lot. Because I just don't like to lose for other people. I know Scott said, there you go. I know Scott said, do I consider myself a prop bettor? I mean, props are definitely my biggest edge, but I've won on NFL sides and totals for years. Now, like one thing I'll like say is I'm mostly an early week bettor on sides and totals. And you can get down. Like I could get down. You can get down good amounts on Monday and Tuesday and everything. So that's kind of where I focus on. But I will play some late stuff based off like injury reports,
dude. This
stuff like that. I played the New England under 40 on Saturday morning, and like I knew Rob and Eric liked that play a lot. They got better numbers than me. But then just the weather reports.
Don't tell your boy Fez about that. He cannot hear this. He might disown you. All the good things he's ever said about you and your price sensitivity. He can't know that you chased the worst number, Hitman.
Well, it closed 38.5.
Yes, but you could add 41, man. Could have 41 on Wednesday, and you went out and played 40 on Saturday.
I'm in the mid. I heard you guys, and I'm in between. I'm a big believer that like different stuff works for different people,
of course,
and like and like, like there's people that probably think lower of me and they're like, oh, you bet Monday and you're getting Iowa to get down 6 figures and you're betting 5 figures and you're betting props and everything. So I look down on, but there's different ways to do it. And everyone, there's a lot of money to be made.
What's the probability? What's the probability on a Bengals win right now?
Probably like minus.
What's the probability if you got to put a percentage on it? Because Pinnacle's posting minus 320 Bengals.
Yeah, that's a joke.
That's
especially
low,
because you push. Especially because if you push,
that's like 76%. It's got to be way higher than that.
Yeah,
I just don't know that I want to be dropping like $6K on a minus 300 or anything like that.
I think minus that minus 320 or whatever is cheap.
No, it was just a direct shot at you betting the minus 300 earlier, which is probably going to win, actually. It's probably going to win.
Yeah, I got a lot of adding up to do after. I'm going to lose on this game, probably.
Oh, it is a... Well, let me see. It was a... Tie is a loss. He's right. It was minus half.
Okay.
So, distinct.
Yeah,
yes.
that matters. That matters, son.
Minus half, minus 300 right now. I make that my best bet for week 14. It's getting bet into oblivion right now. Minus 360. God, I love watching live markets sometimes, man. It's a lot better than watching Hit the Books, I'll tell you that.
Kanish sucked all year on that show, right?
I produced that show. What the fuck?
It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Zach. you have to deal with certain talents, and you have one very talented host in Brad Powers, and you have another not so talented in Joseph Kanish. It's actually hilarious reading the podcast reviews that come in for Hit the Books for people who have never been exposed to Kanish before and read it and like listen to the show for the first time. They're so funny. They're like, this Brad Powers guy seems to really know what's going on, but this Kanish guy, I don't think I can handle him for more than a minute. I'm going to put a compilation of those reviews together. They're so good.
There was one that I saw that was like, it was like, whenever I watch the podcast alone, or whenever I watch the show alone, I can listen to it out loud. Whenever my girlfriend's home, I have to use headphones because she hates Kanish's voice. And then he puts in brackets, at least the yelling part. And I was like,
yes.
That's good.
He gets really worked up for like over nothing a lot of times. He's like starts to shake and stutter, and it's just like, take a breath. Take a breath.
I think
Joey.
that the new mic setup really helped settle things in. We're good there.
Kanish is disturbed.
MILF Hunter. Pre-flop, Jags -8.5. Jags teasers. In-game Bengals money line 280. Bengals money line -300. Bengals +6. What a journey. Hey, man. Sometimes you just got to get off those positions when you.
I don't have Jags -8.5.
Yeah. I think he does. I think actually MILF Hunter is saying these are his positions.
Oh, that's what he had. Oh.
I could be wrong. That's how I interpreted that. They're just going to keep handing to Mixon here and then kick a field goal, right?
Yeah, I usually don't. This was a game where I ended up having a lot. I usually don't have this many positions live.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think of this trade I made, Rob? I don't know if you're familiar with Dynasty football at all.
Yep.
I traded Stephon Diggs. I'm giving up on the year. I traded Stephon Diggs, Ezekiel Elliott, Taysom. They're irrelevant in Dynasty. Elliott, Taysom Hill. So it's basically Diggs. Stephon Diggs. I got back Tank Dell, a future first, and a future second.
Yep. I mean, you're rebuilding, man.
I think Tank Dell by himself, a 24-year-old rookie that was lined at in the 60s every week.
Yep. For sure. I like that. I like that a lot. All right.
Mickey, Tank Dell's injured. Really? It's a dynasty league, not a redraft league.
Yeah. This is for future. This is
we keep the same team. Yeah, and there's a rookie draft. Yeah.
All right, Hitman. It's going to be what looks like a 47 to 48 yarder. 47 to 48 yarder. People are so obsessed with like snapping it on third down in case there's like a bad. When does this happen? This never happens. It's more.
What happens if there's a bad snap? Then you just fall on it. And it's fourth down, right?
Well, on third down, yes, but like it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Like when was the last time a team snapped it on third down and they're like, it was a bad snap. Lucky we did that because we can kick on fourth. Like it's way more important to take the time off the clock.
Do I use my one time here on one of the best kickers in the league missing a field goal? Do I use it? I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to take my medicine.
Oh, it's right down the pipe. That's good. That's good. Oh, penalty. It's going to be like a leaping penalty. That guy came flying in and he definitely hit the set. Like, these guys are also so stupid. Like, why even try to do that? Like, you're just giving. Flag can't make a difference. It's definitely leaping. Yep, it is. All right. Well, that's a big loss. That's going to be an L.
Long night of accounting for it coming for me.
Well, enjoy it. I'm probably going to order some late night food.
You got to stop with the late night food, Rob.
What
12 o'clock and you're going to be ordering fast food?
I'm starving, man. I don't know what I'm going to order, but I'm hungry.
What time do you go to bed?
It depends. Depends on the night. Tonight, maybe like 1:30, 2.
You wake up early also?
No. Depends if I have to. If I have to, I'll wake up early. But I got to record a Circles Off tomorrow.
Okay.
Don't ever use my name and his name.
Well,
in the
I got a big round of golf tomorrow. Shot 84 back-to-back rounds. So I'm going to put my over-under at like, we'll say 88 and a half tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. It's easy to shoot 84 when you're playing alone by yourself on the course and no one's counting the strokes.
Go on the grint. I was, what's the word?
Cheating.
No, what's the word when somebody approves your score?
Oh, you got, yeah, I do that all the time as well.
Request a test.
Request a test.
I got in a test from one of my partners. I was laying 7.5 strokes to him. I shot 84. He shot 95, kicked his ass, took his money, won a bunch of money on props on Sunday, gave some back tonight. Everyone, thank you for having me.
All right. It's Hitman, everyone. You catch him here on Forward Progress over the course of the week. He's back on Wednesday for Best Bets. Peace out, Hitman. Have a good one. Have a good one. Appreciate everyone out there who tuned in for another banger live watch along. This was a big one tonight. We got a very, very good audience for the majority of it. Chat was off the hook. Always appreciate everyone out there. Tuesday, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. G-Stack George, Sharp Clark, breaking down tape from the past week. Make sure you check it out. Wednesday, Best Bets. Me, Hitman, Eager, Suma. It's all happening. Appreciate everyone out there. Would have preferred if the Jags won, but such is life. We move on. We move on to the next day. For myself, Rob Pizzola, for our guests, Hitman, Steve Fezzik, Dr. Eric Eager, producer, Zack Phillips. This has been another live watch along here on the Forward Progress YouTube channel presented by Pinnacle Sportsbook. I'll catch everyone later this week. Everyone enjoy their night. Have a good one.